Sponge, stop talking about my sons.
No, that's not what he said.
Did he invite you to the Alamo Bowl?
Yeah, really? Are we going to the Alamo Bowl?
I could.
Oh.
Bubba goes, where's the Alamo Bowl?
Seth, unlike you, I've seen the Alamo. I lived in the city that the Alamo is. I lived in San Antonio.
God bless you.
It's not impressive.
That's something to hang over my head.
So I got in so much trouble. I just signed with KTFM. I got fired from Grand Rapids, 1988. So January of '89. Let me see. January of '89. I fly into San Antonio, and they pick me up in this limo. It's one of the very first limos I've ever been in. I've only been in a couple before that. And they pick me up because the station has its own limo, and the radio station KTFM was owned by a guy named Bernie Waterman. It was when still mom and pops could own a couple, 2-3 radio stations before all the big conglomerates came in. And so they pick me up in a limo and take me right to a San Antonio Spurs game.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
No, this is in 1989. This is before they had David Robinson. This is when they really sucked.
They didn't have Robinson or Duncan, Sean Elliott, Avery Johnson?
No.
Were they playing in the Alamo Dome?
No, yes. They were playing. No, they were playing at what they knocked down.
Oh, okay.
They play. So let me look at the 1989 San Antonio Spurs roster. Now here's a story to this. So they pick me up.
Little Wilbur's Afterbirth became a member.
Thank you. So they pick me up, and the guy that ended up eventually owning a portion of Clear Channel, and also at one time he owned the Minnesota Vikings. I forget what his name was, but he owned the Spurs. God, what was his name? I got a chance to meet him. I hadn't even been to the radio station, hadn't even really been offered the job. They picked me up from the airport like at 6:15, and it was the general manager and the program director, and they're like, hey, we're going to a Spurs game tonight because we got like a special box.
Did you think that was like the rodeo or something?
What you said 1989?
Is it Red McCombs?
Yes. I met Red McCombs. I met Red McCombs.
The original Big Red.
And he was, what's telling me?
I was saying the 1989 looks like they finished first. They had Larry Brown, and it was David Robinson's rookie year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe they did have Robinson. Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
And it looks like
He was a stud.
They finished first.
Well, no, I mean, hold on. This would have been January of '89. Would that be considered the '88 season?
Yes. Okay.
So this was January of '89.
All right.
So look at the 1988 season because that's.
Do you want us to look up the exact box score from the game you were at that night,
No,
Bubba?
I can't. I couldn't even tell you what game I watched.
Yeah, they were a lot worse. 21-61.
Yeah, they were 21-61.
Oh, Jesus.
And I met Red McCombs, because the 102. I'm sorry, KTFM and Waterman Broadcasting had like a special little box. Met Red McCombs. They took me to the radio station that night. And this was like I think it was like a Wednesday, or it was a midweek game. It was like through the week. And so I go to the radio station. I can remember like it was, what was his name? The general manager name was Joe Ernest. And he comes to me, and they know they want me because they've heard they needed somebody at night. Let me kind of stir it up a little bit.
You know they want you when
okay.
they're taking you to a Spurs game.
Well, I knew they
Right
wanted,
when you land.
I mean, listen, I didn't even get to the station. So they take me to the station after the Spurs game about 10:30, and this station is the most. I've only been, at that point, only worked at 2 radio stations, and both of them had decent equipment, but not like, I mean,
State of the art.
No, this particular place. I mean, oh my God, they had an AM and FM. They had a courtyard. They had my other places had the round RCA tin pot boards. They were made with dials. If you look at the old RCA tin pot, this had a slider board and you had your own phone screener, and you had your own your own little producer. Remember, that's where I fell in love with that Lori Flores girl.
The Bible.
And when I thought I was going to get some ass on my last day, she gave me a Bible. Yeah. So anyway, listen. I get there at 9:00 the next morning, and Sonny Menendez was the morning man, and oh my God, he was like a rock star. He had a station sponsored red Mercedes convertible, like he was on TV. He was the bomb. So I go to Joe Ernest the general manager's office, and it's a big. I mean, the office is like the size of the studio, just like everything in Texas is bigger. And he goes, "Listen, we really want you. We want your excitement and the controversy that you cause at night. Our nights have been just really lackluster. There was a guy his name was called the Janitor, and he was the night jock, and he sucked. It's horrible." I end up replacing him, but they didn't fire the janitor. They just put him on after me. So I did 6 to 10, and he did 10 to 2. This is back in the day, Seth, where radio stations actually had an overnight guy. You know what I'm saying?
What a waste of money.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. For real. I mean, especially when anybody that's listening to the overnights, like usually factory workers and stuff, and they just want to hear music anyway.
What am I paying a guy $50,000 to do overnights that nobody's listening to except tweaked out truckers, and they're saying 8 seconds an hour. They're speaking 8 seconds an hour.
So the Joe Ernest goes, "We're going to negotiate. We want you. I'm just going to go ahead and lay it all out. We don't have to do this song and dance. We want you, but we just we don't want to. We have a budget." And I go, and I'll see in Grand Rapids, I was making $30,000. That's all I was making, $30,000. So that was like market 58 or 60. Well, at that time, San Antonio was like market 34 or 32. So he goes, "We're going to do this. We're going to negotiate Texas style." I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm just this stupid. I'm just stupid white kid from Indiana. I don't know. Yeah, am I going to get a gun and you're going to get a gun?
It's going to be a standoff.
What are we going to shoot at a target and whatever number? I mean, like, how do we do this? And he goes, "Are you familiar with Texas style?" And I go, "Not really." And he goes, "That's where I write a number down and you write a number down." I was like, "Okay, And he goes, "You don't show me your number and I don't show me my number. And then I'll tell you the rules from after that." I go, "Okay." He goes, "But when you negotiate Texas style, it's a gentlemanly type deal. So don't insult. Do you don't like
don't comment
like
ridiculous.
Basically saying don't be stupid about it." So. And talk about a complete screw job. Wait till you hear this. So he goes, now think about it. Think about what you make. Think about what market you're in. Think about what it might cost for you to get an apartment and whatever. And then write that number down on here. Here's a piece. He gave me like a Post-it note. Write that number down and turn it upside down. And he goes, "I'm going to write a number down. And I'm going to turn my number upside down." So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, 30,000. It probably costs a little bit more to live here. I'm going to write down 36,500. Oh, I don't know if I should write that down. Maybe I should just write down 30 because that's what I'm used to making. And I don't know.
So you're really beating yourself up over 6,500.
And he writes down a number immediately. Immediately, he writes a number down.
Because he knew his budget.
He knew what. Yeah, exactly. It took him 3 seconds to write a number down, and I'm sitting there going, kind of like Lummy, So I write down 30. I was going to go 36.5. I wrote down 36. And I wrote I put my and we're sitting across the desk from each other. He's got this big old Texas, Longhorn desk, and he goes.
You got boots and a hat.
He's got boots and a hat.
That's awesome.
And he's got like that. You know how they wear like the ties, or like the bow tie.
The thin tie. The string.
The string. With
string
like
tie.
a medallion in the middle.
All right.
He goes, "Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Show me your number." And I go, "Oh, okay." So I slide my number over to him, and he takes it and he looks at it and he goes, "We got ourselves a deal. We got a deal."
Whoa.
Yeah, hold on. That's how much of a screw job it is. So hold on. He looks at my number and he goes, "Yep, we got ourselves a deal. Let's go ahead and shake on it. I'll have the papers drawn up." So we shook on it. So he said, "You have to excuse me for a minute. I got to go to the bathroom," because he knew I was going to go look at his number. Mm-hmm. It's all a big head game. So he goes, "I'm going to be about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to go pee." So he walks out of his room.
But he leaves the paper?
And he leaves my paper he crumpled up and threw away. He knew what it was, 36,000. And he accepted the offer. Well, he leaves his paper, right? And see, his desk wasn't so big that I couldn't reach across from it, right?
Can we all guess what his number is?
No, hold on. So he probably knows, because he said, "I'm going to be gone 2 or 3 minutes." So just kick back and relax and welcome to the family. Well, I'll be talking some particulars once we get back, health insurance and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. So I just had to. I just had to.
Of course you did.
I just had to. So I went over and looked at his number. You guys can guess. Lummy?
52.
Dan?
40.
Seth?
60.
Rhett? Rhett? So Rhett's probably not very Michaelable today.
He's doing Macho's job.
Rhett, I'm going to keep you up, but I'm not going to call on you much. And if you want to chime in, feel free. But I know you're doing 3 jobs.
All right, sorry about that.
No big deal. So 54.5.
Oof.
54,500. And
Just left a little on the table.
God, did I leave a lot of meat? And he
So you
goes,
should ask for 50, huh?
I should have asked for,
50 and gone down to 40 if you had to.
nobody. So he comes back and he goes, and he didn't know that I looked at his paper because
Yeah,
I even made sure that I put it back in the same direction that he wrote it on. You know what I'm saying? Like I peeked at it and put it back, and he goes, we're mighty happy to have you on board. We'll send you down to HR and get you all signed up. And go back. And Big Dog was the PD. He goes, after you get signed up with HR, I go down to Big Dog and find out when your first shift is. Appreciate you and welcome aboard, Bubba. But I guess that's how you negotiate Texas style. I don't think there's even such a thing. I think it was.
Oh, there is, and he worked you, Bubba.
Yeah, he worked.
He saved the company.
So anyway,
$20,000.
some of the most. So they needed me to get familiar with the city, and so Big Dog says, "Listen, one of our AM news girls has something to do down at the Alamo today. There's some kind of festivity happening down at the Alamo." And I want you to tag along with her. You don't have to do any news stories or anything like that. It's completely because they had KTFM and KTFA.
Did you buy boots and a hat and a bolo tie once you were there?
No, hell no.
So you could fit in?
No, I should have, but I didn't. And so I had to tag along with the I think it's KFTA or KTFA or KTSA. I think it was KTSA.
It is KTSA.
It's KTSA.
Yeah.
And there was something, they're always doing something down at the Alamo. It's like it's the big thing. So we go down, and so Big Dog's like, listen, you have to have seen the Alamo. You have to be able to refer the Alamo. This whole town is built around the Alamo.
So you know the whole story.
You have to know the whole story. They got placards out there. You can take a little tour in the whole 9 yards, and you can go down there. So we go down. Me and this girl, her name was Ann. And she was this old bag that was doing some kind of KTSA report, Hey, it's Ann, the old bag from KTSA, and we're down here for Taco Day down here at the Alamo. So we park. She has media parking, and we park, pretty close. And we go to the Alamo, and she goes, well, here it is. And I go, where? She goes, right there.
It is a tiny place.
And I looked at it, and I swear to God, it's a little bit bigger than one of our sheds out back.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And so I go, that's the Alamo?
And then when you go in it's even more of a letdown.
Yeah. So she goes, Bubba, yes. And you don't understand the heritage of this and how many people died defending this. And it was one of the most, inspiring stories ever. I'm like, that building? No wonder we got our asses kicked. We needed a bigger building. And so she went back, and I took the tour, had to learn all about it and the whole 9 yards. But it was just so disappointing to see how small the Alamo is. When we think about the Alamo, there was a Davy Crockett, or I forget who the hell it was.
Yeah, it's Davy Crockett.
And Bowie too.
Yeah.
David Bowie was out there doing a concert.
Not David Bowie, the guy that made the Bowie knife.
Sam Bowie. Right?
Sam Bowie, yeah. If it wasn't for that, that really inspired the revolution of Texans against Mexico.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to, know it as.
Right.
What it represents, not the size of the building, but instead what that battle represented.
And Santa Anna was a dick. He killed everybody at the end when they surrendered.
Yeah, he did.
The Mexican guy?
Yeah. The general. So I'm guessing you're not going to make the San Antonio Radio Hall of Fame?
Oh, hell no. I was out of there by June.
Oh, wow.
I was out of there by June. But I didn't get fired. I got plucked out by Chicago. I mean, Chicago called me and like they says remember back. Nobody in this room remembers back how you used to get radio jobs. They'd put ads in R&R, which was an industry magazine, and you'd have to send them your cassette air check, and then program directors would listen to your cassette air check, and then bring you into town and have you do a shift. That's how I got my Chicago job. I was sending out because I was miserable in San Antonio because there was such a language barrier. I didn't speak Spanish, and so the guy that I was going against, one of my shticks is when I was doing nights, it was to make fun of my competition.
Yeah, and
my competition was Rick the Stick on 93.3. KITY, Kitty, 93.3, and he would go on there and be like, Rick the Stick, and then he'd go, blah, 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 blah. He would do breaks like in English and Spanish. Well, he was making fun of me. You
didn't know it?
No, and I didn't know it.
He was doing it in Spanish?
So he'd go like, blah, blah, and then so I have to have this person that spoke Spanish listen to his show and tell me what he was saying, and it just doesn't work out very good that way if you can't hear it yourself. And so I just was miserable. I was in love with my phone screener, and she was, like Little House, and there was nothing to be had there. Again, on my last day, when we're going to go to, she's like, I'm going to take you to dinner on our last day. Her name was Lori Flores. And I think her dad was a dentist. She was super rich, super hot. And I thought, well, maybe, because I made it very well known that I liked her, And I thought maybe on that last day, I'm going to Chicago, and the station threw a big party for me because I was going from San Antonio to Chicago from Market 34 to Market 3, which was kind of a big deal. Back when radio, Seth, back when radio appreciated you and you could better yourself and they would be happy for you instead of talking down about you and getting you blackballed.
Oh, I don't remember any of those days, Bubba, where you got pumped up at all by the industry.
Yeah, you just remember the days you either got fired or quit.
Yeah, those were my standout days.
I have more of those. I have more. I've been fired. I've been fired more than I've been. There's only. Let me see. I left Terre Haute. I left San Antonio. And I left 93.3 FLZ. Those are the only 3 jobs I did. Otherwise, I got fired from every other one of them. I got fired. So on my last show, I was allowed to say goodbye, and she's like, let's go to this, like, obviously some Mexican place to have like a little dinner, a little late night dinner, and I got a gift for you. I was like, oh, maybe that gift is going back to my apartment and kicking it out wide. She knows I like her, and I'm getting ready to be a big time radio guy in Chicago. At least that's what she thinks. And she's like, we get done with dinner, and I'm like, hey, you want to go back to my place? And she's like, no, I got Bible study tomorrow morning, but I did have something for you. She gave me a Bible.
You were looking for nipples.
I was looking for some vagina. I mean, that's a big swing. You're looking for vagina and you get a Bible. That's a pretty big swing, ain't it?
Yeah.
So that's my San Antonio, Texas story, and that's where I think Dion's going to be playing the Alamo Dome. Who is he playing?
BYU.
Oh, that should be a pretty good game,
it should be a good game.
Speaking of college football, they listed the 4 finalists for the Heisman. Oregon's Dylan Gabriel, Colorado's Travis Hunter, Boise State's was it Aston Genty?
Yes.
And Miami's Cam Ward. I think it comes down to Hunter and Genty, in my opinion.
Yeah, the problem is Boise State made the playoffs, so they're going to put a lot on that. How the team did. Yeah,
I saw somebody make this point the other day. But if Travis Hunter plays on any other school in the country, if he's on Alabama or Georgia right now, is this even a discussion?
Nope.
With his same stats and his same ability, meaning they don't have.
Correct.
He's a 2-way starter.
Yeah.
Oh, if he plays on any other team,
it's not even a conversation to be had.
No.
It shouldn't be now.
It really
should be a
now.
walk away. No one's doing that right now.
Nobody. Hold on. Nobody has ever done it in our modern day. I mean, some guys have dabbled on both sides of the ball, but they usually played like full-time defense, like Champ Bailey. He played full-time defense, and then he'd average like maybe 15 to 20 snaps on offense.
Yeah, around that. Yeah, he wasn't full-time.
I mean, Hunter's doing 50 to 60 snaps on defense and 40 to 50 snaps on offense. I mean, he's playing 2 games for every game. He played 24 games this year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it should be a walk away, but I don't know. I mean, you never know. You could be like, hey, Boise State's.
I mean, Ashton Genty set a lot of records this year.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, it's nothing to scoff at.
I was not on board. I was a big Cam Ward guy at the beginning of the year until Miami flamed out and didn't make the playoffs. But I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. It's tough to kind of look at Travis Hunter, and because we're all putting him in the pros and we're looking at him as the next great two-way football star. I don't know how they're going to utilize him in the NFL at all. I don't know if he's going to be a wide receiver or if he's going to be a cornerback.
I think he's going to be mostly a corner, and then come in like Dion did at slot or something, but more often.
Bill Belichick was on Pat McAfee yesterday, and he was actually kind of talking about this because they had asked him the type of athletes you coach in the NFL versus college. And he said in college, you get a little bit better of an idea to kind of iron out a guy in his game, figure out what side of the game or what side of the ball he should be on. So, in his experience, you hear a lot about guys who come in as a wide receiver or they're playing both ways. He has the ability to say, hey, in the NFL, you're going to be most successful as a corner or as a wide receiver.
Well, Belichick took Edelman, who was a quarterback, and made him a wide receiver, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So guys changing positions. I think Travis Hunter is an all-star athlete, but
what did Belichick say as far as where he whittles him? What was Belichick's reasoning as to what Hunter does? Does he think that Hunter concentrates?
He didn't really talk about Hunter in particular. He talked more about the North Carolina job, but he was just talking about athletes kind of changing positions and guys being much more fluid in college. So when it translates to the NFL, he can do all these things now. He might not be able to do them in a year's time.
Hunter will go down as one of the greatest two-way players. His accomplishments harkens those of Charles Woodson, the Michigan cornerback in 1997, who became the first Heisman primarily played on defense. Woodson also spent time as a receiver, but Hunter's offensive production dwarfs his. Hunter was selected all Big Ten first-team receiver and earned honorable mention as an offensive player of the year. He leads the Big 12 with 90. Hold on. So he leads the Big 12 with 92 receptions, 14 touchdowns. Is second in yardage at over 1,152. His 21 receiving plays and 20-plus yards lead the nation. He's also
$50.
He's also the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year and a unanimous first-team defensive back. 31 tackles, tying for the Big 12 lead, and 11 pass breaks and 4 interceptions. I mean,
again, this is not who's going to be the best professional athlete in NFL football. This is the best college football player.
Right.
And if you look at it objectively without, the bias towards or, for Dion, it's really difficult to say that he's not the best college football player.
He is the 6th best wide receiver, according to stats.
Oh,
yeah, but
okay.
but he also has a whole season of playing defense
with 4 picks. 4 picks, 31 tackles, 11 pass breakups. I mean, I think by most cornerback standards, 4 picks is pretty good year.
No, it
really
is. It's leading the I think he's like second on picks this year in college.
Yeah, if he's not first, he's second.
Yeah. I mean, wow. 14. Tell me the last person in college football that scored 14 touchdowns, had 1,100 yards, nearly 100 receptions, and 4 picks. I don't know that it's ever happened.
I can't tell you, but I can tell you that Ashton Genty had 2,500 rushing yards this year and 29 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was just running over programs.
What was Boise State's strength of schedule? I mean, did they play
the playoffs?
Well, I know they made the playoffs.
They won their conference. I mean, they did what they had to do. I mean, they weren't lined up with Alabama and Oregon and Ohio State or anything like that. But Boise State's been making noise, for years now, and I think they've kind of just built a consistent, legitimate program.
No, yeah, they have. 100%.
I mean, is the Heisman this weekend?
It should be, right?
I think it's on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's right before the bowl games really start going.
I wonder if Dion's mad because Shedeur, didn't make it as a finalist.
No, I think he knew, and Shedeur won, I think, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. So I mean,
I think he's happy that one of his players made it,
and most likely, it's most likely not only did one of his players make it, but it probably will win it.
Boise State's strength of schedule was 78th.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's not too bad for a smaller school.
Brandy Glanville is not holding back. The former model turned reality star. I don't even know who she is.
She was on Real Housewives of whatever.
Orange
I
County.
thought this would be an
those Real Housewives show.
I thought this would be an interesting story for Dr. M.
Last week, Glanville showed a video on Instagram and Cameo that she'd filmed for a fan. And in the caption, she wrote, "It's been over a year since I've been dealing with my health issues. I haven't been able to keep up with the videos, but I'm back now." And this is what she's gone like. Dan, what is that, Dan?
It looks like she had a lot of atrophy because she probably had something put in that got infected. It looks like it ate up all the soft tissue.
You're talking like maybe a collagen injection or something like that.
Something like hyaluronic acid.
And she had like a allergic, like some type of reaction to it.
Mm-hmm. And then they said that she had angioedema, which is a sort of an inflammatory disease that may be linked to autoimmune disease. And so maybe she built up antibodies to whatever they injected into her face, or people sometimes with COVID, I'm not trying to be conspiratorial, but sometimes people with COVID or the vaccine end up forming antibodies against the filler. And it gets jacked up. I've had people that have had lip or cheek injections, and then they get COVID or get the vaccine, and all of a sudden they get all jacked up for 2 or 3 weeks. And then if you jack up and then deflate, you look like that.
Based on her appearance in the video, some of her followers suggested that her health issues may be attributed to Botox or fillers. She's been open about getting both for years, but in the post on X, formerly Twitter, she shut down that theory. "Guys, this is an old cameo," she said. "I used it to promote that I'm back after a year hiatus. Let me share what I look like and why I took a blah, 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 blah." So is this modern day right here?
Yes.
Oh. Now, Dan, and as bad as that is, could you fix that?
Well, it depends on why she's having problems. I mean, if a person has an inflammatory response to fillers, then you can't keep putting them in because she's going to keep having problems. So she may have a long-term problem. If that's the case, then you'd have to do like a facelift over maybe a cheek implant.
Oh. Do they make cheek implants?
Yeah, they make them out of Gore-Tex.
Make it. What's Gore-Tex?
Like the jackets used to be made out of. It's like a plasticky material.
And is it almost like a bump it? Like
I don't
almost
know what a bump it is.
Almost like a little piece of plastic that
like foamy plastic.
That you stick in there, right? Mm-hmm. So the entire country is talking about, and we will talk about it too, probably next, and that is that the assassin that killed the CEO of Hunter Law, who killed the CEO of United Health, has been caught. His name is what? Luigi
Mangione.
Did this guy want to get caught?
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe
He was just sitting at a McDonald's eating, chilling.
in North Carolina, right? Pennsylvania. Well, maybe he felt he was far enough away, Seth, that,
I saw that I guess he wasn't a suspect. They didn't have any clue who he was or where he was until McDonald's person snitched on him. They said the Waffle House would have helped you bury the body.
Yeah, how ironic is it that the minimum age McDonald's worker is snitching on the guy taking out a CEO?
He caught the Seminole Heights killer, too, at McDonald's.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did?
Didn't he work there, though?
Yeah,
I thought he was dropping off his stuff to his coworker, and he said, "Hang on to this bag for me. I'm just going out of town."
Gun in
Had
it.
the gun, yeah.
Lemmy, weren't you a suspect in that?
No, I wasn't a suspect.
Not the murders that were rocking Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Hold on. So in Tampa, we had this guy named he was deemed the Seminole Heights killer, and it's where
just
Lummy's
clipping people just walking at night.
Yeah, it's kind of where Lummy's
Played football in college.
It's kind of where Lummy's Tampa house is, kind of.
The fixer-upper.
And the fixer-upper. And Lummy actually had a gun that was stolen.
Yeah.
Lummy, actually, I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, I had a gun that was stolen out of my truck when I went back in my, almost like someone was watching me put my gun in my truck, and it ended up going away. Thought I'd never see it again. I reported it to the police. Well, after they arrested this guy, I got a call from the FBI, and My gun was arrested in a case, and
Your gun was not
Really?
Your gun was not arrested, Lummy.
I'm
Your
sorry.
gun,
was used in a
my
crime?
gun was used
they
in a
didn't
crime.
put your gun in handcuffs and put him on
Yeah.
trial. Your gun didn't
Little
get
tiny
arrested.
handcuffs.
Yeah. so-
Listen, you gun, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
Guns kill people. The people don't kill people.
All right, so
for a
Lummy,
while, I thought it was my gun. That
so
used
hold
it
on.
'cause it's the same gun.
Did the Seminole Heights killer steal your gun?
Possibly. They didn't tell. The FBI wouldn't tell me what case it was involved in, who had it. But when I looked up the all the details of the gun that the killer used, it was very similar to it.
It's all your fault, though.
Yes.
So they-
Thank
What
you.
kind of gun was it?
It was a 38. I know that.
And so they get a hold of you and they say, "Hey, listen, we found your gun."
Yeah.
And because I'm sure you reported it stolen.
Correct.
And we found your gun. It just happens to somewhat coincide with the four Seminole Heights? I think killed 4 people, didn't he?
Yes.
With the 4 people, it was just very timely wise. It really aligned, it aligned really closely with the Seminole Heights kills. And they told you could come pick it up because I think they did ballistics on it. Merch Crick lost one of her guns one time fairly recently, within the last 2 years, and it came up. I forget what agency called her, but it came up. She reported it missing, obviously, and it came up, like they found it. Somebody found the gun, and they called Merch Crick to come get the gun. And before they would give it to her, they had to take it to their lab and shoot like 20 or 30 rounds through it and get a ballistics of the gun, meaning every gun will leave some type of ballistic mark on the bullet based on how the barrel is rifled. Am I right, Dan?
Yes.
Every gun is different.
There's 2 things that are different. The firing pin, actually, it's the dent that it makes in the cap of the cartridge.
Right.
The firing cap. That's unique too. That's like a fingerprint. So it's the grooves on the bullet are
Right.
one fingerprint, and the imprint on the back of the bullet is a second fingerprint, which is why your casings can bust you. Not just the bullet itself.
So if you're really not trying to give anybody tips on how to be a cold-blooded killer, but you should pick up your casings because that, is an identifier. And then the other thing you should do, and I'm not saying that anybody should do this, but if you would use your gun in a way that potentially could be a problematic, let's just say that, I would take my gun home, Dan, and I would take a drill with a drill bit and go right down the barrel. Take
Make it unfireable.
well,
Right.
I mean, I don't want to use this gun again, but you're not going to be able to use this gun and run any bullets through it, and the rifling that it used to make on bullets will no longer be there because I've just drilled the entire barrel, and all you're going to get is drill marks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody.
Or just change your barrels out.
Or just go on Fabrizi's boat about 37 miles.
And put it in concrete.
And put it in concrete. Actually and then,
But this guy wanted to be caught. He had the manifesto with him. He had the gun with him.
Who does that? Who would walk around after committing a crime, keeping the 2 most precious pieces of evidence? 3. The manifesto, the gun, and the fake ID. Those are the things I would have burned.
Yes, and if you were on the run, you wouldn't pull up at a McDonald's and use their free Wi-Fi and sit there all day, would you?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Out of all the grotesque and murders and school shootings and all the bad things that we've gone through as a country and killings and this and that, this guy seems to be the most buttoned up. Like wasn't he the valedictorian of his
school?
His school.
Yeah.
He
Had a master's degree in technology. Had a bachelor's degree.
I mean, this guy, by all accounts,
He was big. He was big into books. He's got an online history of reviewing and
good-looking kid.
He was a surfer.
But he watched his mom suffer every day because of the insurance company, and he's apparently been in pain since his back surgery. So
his back surgery is 100% true. The manifesto thing that I was reading this morning, I was trying to find more info. It's not confirmed that is real. Now, he did have a manifesto, and he did bring up a couple of talking points about, the United Healthcare CEO. some family members that had impacted him, and his back. But the manifesto that we were reading this morning, I don't know 100% if it's real or not.
Oh, so they're saying somebody may have typed one up and say that it's his. We don't necessarily
it hasn't
know.
been confirmed to be true. It's being reported that it's his, but there isn't anything like concrete tying it to him, so I don't want to say for sure yet.
Isn't it weird that we have this guy's manifesto in 36 hours, and the transgender girl, boy that shot up that school
took 2 months.
And this guy seems like such a pansy, like a Lee Harvey Oswald guy that all of a sudden he just lets them catch him with his gun, his ID, his manifesto. This is so, it doesn't make, he's too smart.
That's the weirdest part, Dan. And like you said, everything else, every other precaution that he took to do this made you think that he would be way smarter than to just sit at a McDonald's and
because prior to sitting at a McDonald's using their Wi-Fi,
he's carrying 2 fake IDs. He had $8,000 on him, $2,000 in foreign money. He had a plan for sure. He was carrying data blockers in his backpack so his phone wouldn't be pinged. Like, he knew what he was doing.
But he had to get that new McRib.
Had to get the new McRib.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Can you not? Yeah, I was gonna say, can you not get in the parking lot? I mean, Jesus. You can't. Fucking A, man.
The new McRib's better than the old one. What's up? Wordy 2021, Bro Perez, Tackle the Dog.
I mean, this guy allegedly has content that's ready to launch on YouTube. That said, if you're seeing this, I've been arrested.
Really?
Yeah.
What's up, Caviar Tacos? Lover Gerber. Tackle the Dog. With lips.
Yeah, what kind of health care do they have in jail? Probably not too shabby.
They all get treated, just slowly.
Yeah.
Bart Hutchison, Kirk.
Yeah, you have chest pains, they're going to get you in 2 to 3 weeks. It's not going to be
no rush. It's like Canadian
Chest
healthcare.
pains.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
We'll come get you if you're still alive, buddy. Now return your library books.
Quicker ticker. Good book. They're saying 3D printed gun, maybe. A 3D printed gun would also shoot poorly. So, Glenn, along that.
His gun was a 3D printed gun?
They're saying that. They're saying it's a ghost gun. They were saying it's a veterinary gun 4 days ago, but it wasn't. I think it was either a shitty gun or a gun that he may have tried to make, which is why it wouldn't fire correctly.
Well, I read 3D guns have no serials, right?
They do not.
Okay. What up, Berto? What's up, Quicker Ticker?
In fact, if you make a 3D printed gun, the law says that you have to put a serial number on it. You can make your own gun, but you have to serial number it.
It's crazy. Fucking making your own gun. Good lord, man.
Well, they used to back in the old days.
No, I know, but for this crime, if it was so thought out to not have serial numbers and shit, I just don't know.
Why you carry it?
I don't know.
And it sucked. It wouldn't shoot well. That's why I think that he fired 2 shots and had 3 casings, because he was trying to cycle the gun. It didn't completely cycle, so he racked it, dumped the bullet, and a new bullet came in.
Well, we also, half the people have this guy pinned as a mastermind, so that's why it's like, wait, how'd you get caught eating at McDonald's?
Well, obviously the kid himself is smart. The kid that they're identifying as the suspect, but smart doesn't necessarily mean perfectly street smart.
Right. He hasn't said a word yet, so I don't know.
Smart.
That is smart?
That is smart.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Grouper? What's up, Neil?
Slizair, when people file off serial numbers, they can always read it underneath. They use like some kind of x-ray and shit, because that serial number goes way deeper than you see. You can't just take a little file and file it down so you can't see it anymore. There's still stuff underneath it. the 60s.
We got some bad news for all the Brian fans out there. He's going to be missing some weeks.
Suppressors do make some guns malfunction. That's absolutely true. Boondix. I don't know how you say your name. But you would think, again, someone using a gun in a assassination would have tested it, practiced with it. He'd never take an unproven firearm into a battle.
Yeah, I think Brian will be in next Wednesday.
Yeah, I won't carry a gun that I haven't shot before several times. It's useless. Fiddling around, trying to figure out where the buttons are, going where the take-up is versus the actual breaking the trigger. You need to know your gun. Semi-autographs, Travis. What are you saying, Carter? Chris here? Yeah, ghost guns in the garage suck.
Look at how many followers this guy's got now. 287,000.
05 Express. Neil Montplaisir, good morning. Thank you. Good morning, CC. Oh. It's my last day here for a while, so. PayPal, Cash App.
It's your last day.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army. Had a very slow day yesterday, Lummy.
Yes, we did.
I think we're going to... And I understand. It's getting to be Christmas. We got to save our money.
A couple people have asked, what is there a date or anything that you want to open presents up on the air if they send them in? Because we do got some presents from Tees underneath the tree.
Maybe this Friday?
Okay. Just have your presents in by Friday?
Well, I mean, listen, at any time, we have a little bit of abbreviated schedule.
I mean, we're going to be messing around next week from 10 to 1. I mean, we can open up some
I know,
stuff.
just people wanted to know, make sure that they got it in.
We'll open them up as they come in.
Who's asking, Lummy? Just name names and tell us.
Tease, that's who's asking.
Oh, Tease has already got him here.
That's what I'm saying. But
So we're gonna
hold
open them
on.
Today?
So Tease sent a couple
So
presents.
Dana Rose asked.
But so did Tease. Would you not just be honest?
Yeah.
Tease sent her presents, and she wants to know when they're going to be open.
No, she never asked when they would be opened.
Oh, okay.
I was just informing.
Then Daniel Rose did.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll get to them.
This thing that your executive producer has to deal with, Bubba, is something that I don't think a lot of other EPs have to deal with in the industry. As far as people texting him wanting to know when we're going to open up presents on the air.
Well, not a lot of shows shake people down for presents and cash like we do. So with that comes a little added, responsibility of and that you're not used to as the standard EP.
I do feel like there have been people on the before that have solicited for presents, but I don't feel like we've done that at all.
No,
not at all.
But we are very appreciative of any presidents.
Yeah,
we solicit more for cash. That seems to work better for our business model, but we're so very fortunate and thankful for whatever you give, including just being that truck driving Oregon guy who just simply listens to the show. You consider yourself Bubba Army because you're a fan, but in no way, shape, or form do you buy any merch. All you got to do, and this is for free, is just go and subscribe and get a notification for our YouTube channel. That costs nothing.
listen to a podcast.
And listen to a podcast or
That's
two.
what happened on Saturday. A Washington truck driver showed up at the gate and said he just found me back on YouTube and subscribed and
Fantastic.
just came back around. Wanted to see the studios.
As we've hit over I guess you were here out doing some goat stuff.
Neil Malplaisir for $25.
I was at the track. And
it's like Lummy. Well, it's like Lummy is like the house caretaker of like one of those Hollywood homes that they have like the maps to the stars. Because whenever people are in Tampa, they always want to come by here and take a picture.
He's kind of the house mom at a strip club too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's like
He's in charge of everything. So like if a stripper, has their outfit blow out, they'll ask her to sew it up. But she also kind of runs the locker room and makes sure there's nobody's fighting. And if anybody's got any questions or anything like that, again.
Did you let the guy through the gate, Lummy?
No.
But you gave him some bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers and a couple koozies.
You wouldn't believe, because I have Blink cameras on the front of the building, and you wouldn't believe, honest to God, probably per week there's anywhere between 6 to 10 people a week stop by the front part of the building and take a picture of the building.
That's cool.
Average Joe Landscaping picked up his car on Sunday. He said there was a car across the street, a different car, taking pictures of the building and taking selfies.
That could be the IRS getting ready to seize the place.
Sorry, Inspector.
They said they were taking a selfie of the picture.
Oh, that's what Average Joe's Mercedes that's been out there?
Yeah.
I thought that was Tom Bean's.
No, it was Average Joe. He saves a ton of money. Listen, our friends and family that travel and fly out of Tampa, they park here and then take a $12 Uber over to the airport, and then a $12 Uber. So you got $24 in total parking.
Just one day if you pay for them.
But if you go to Tampa, it's $24 a day, if not more, Dan.
Bubba's saving
long
you
term versus short.
Yeah, Bubba's saving you between $40 and $60, okay? Because he's your buddy.
Well, but by the same token, Average Joe does our landscaping for us, Lummy, and he goes way up and beyond.
Yes.
So as we break down the CEO of United Healthcare's assassin which was picked up at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania yesterday, what's his name?
Luigi
Mangione.
Luigi Mangione.
Well, Lummy said that this is a bad look for Italian Americans like himself.
Yeah.
Here is.
I thought he would say Dan for sure, but I forgot that Lummy's Italian.
Here's video of supposedly the police blocking his parents' house off. Now, did he live with his parents?
I don't think so.
They said he was living in Hawaii, I thought.
It seemed that people were having a hard time getting a hold of him. It felt like he was kind of.
They say he disappeared for a year. Like
his family hadn't heard from him.
This is.
They also said he was one of the richest families in Maryland.
He's one of 37 grandchildren.
He's got a cousin who's in the Maryland House of Representatives too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know if it's the House,
but
he's definitely a Maryland.
I thought he was a.
And his family's very well off, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
United Healthcare CEO murder, person of interest detained. I think this might have been early on because I think they've gotten more. Law enforcement tells TMZ that a man from Altoona, Pennsylvania, was being held and questioned in connection with last week's shooting in New York City. Sources tell TMZ that local police responded after receiving a tip that the person of interest was seen at McDonald's. The man has a similar gun as the one that was used in the murders. The New York Times reports the person of interest had written a manifesto that was in his possession. The Times reports that the detained man showed the same fake ID used to rent the hostel room in New York City, while where the murder suspect is believed to have stayed prior to last week's murder. And the detainee was reportedly in possession of a gun, possibly a ghost gun, and a silencer, according to law enforcement sources cited by the newspaper. Now, Dan, what's a ghost gun? Like a homemade kind of gun?
Yeah, it's a 3D printed gun that you can't trace with a serial number.
Any gun that's untraceable, they call a ghost gun. Whether you make it or not, once it's an untraceable gun, it becomes a ghost gun.
His cousin is the sitting Maryland state delegate, Nino Mangione, who represents District 42A.
If there's no,
so this is not like some degenerate scumbag.
No.
You know that most of these people that do bad things like are. This is a very just a very normal and upper class guy.
If there's no serial number, then why not just ditch the gun, down the sewer right afterwards? Or was he planning on hitting some other people?
I don't know, man, because you would seem like you'd want to ditch the gun. That's the first thing you do. Because
the gun and the ID, yeah.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing: the number one ways they prove a murder is to find the weapon used.
Right.
That's the number.
You need a body, and then you need the
I was getting ready
weapon.
to say body and weapon. Mm-hmm. Body and weapon. If you can get one of those two, and in this instance, in a lot of murders, 2 of 2, it just absolutely increases your chances of finding who did it or a lot of other information. If you don't have the murder weapon, there's been people that have walked on murder charges because they couldn't find the weapon.
Mm-hmm. That's why he stabbed someone with an ice knife.
The gun used in the shooting has been the suspect of speculation, with some law enforcement sources saying the weapon is a veterinarian gun commonly used on ranches and farms to put down animals with reduced noise gunshot instead of a pistol fitted with a silencer, which was originally reported.
I don't think it's the vet gun. And the reason you would use a silencer, it's not really called a silencer. It's really a suppressor.
Right.
Yeah.
We went through that one day.
Is that you attract less attention while you're doing the shooting. I mean, it makes sense. Even though people are going to see you shooting, it's better that 10 people instead of 200 people see you.
As TMZ reported, the suspect is believed to have traveled from Atlanta to Manhattan on a bus that made several stops en route to the city. He stayed for several days prior to the shooting at a hostel in Manhattan, being photographed at the front desk in pics that have been widely distributed. The new picture released this weekend shows the suspect looking directly into the camera inside of a cab. The backpack believed to have been worn by the killer was found Friday in Central Park. Inside the backpack, police found a jacket and fake Monopoly money from the board game. Shell casings found. So hold on, this is, remember, Lummy, there was reports that maybe he'd picked up the shell casings?
Yes.
But the shell casings were found at the scene of the shooting, and the cryptic words deny, depose, and defund, an apparent reference to the 2010 book titled Delay, Deny, Defund, which slams defend, which is a book that slams the health insurance sector. As we know, Thompson was one of the industry's bigwigs. The story is still developing. Here is, I think, the mayor of New York talking about apprehending of course, we have to go through a pre-roll on me. I don't really bitch at these pre-rolls because we got pre-rolls on our YouTube, and that's how we make, a substantial amount of money. So I'll just,
Was this a guy on the run, though, or was this a guy that had a plan to get caught up because he has a manifesto, because he allegedly has YouTube videos that are ready to launch, at some moment? He got all, contented up for this thing. He hasn't said a word to anybody. I mean, it seems like he was okay with going to jail for this.
I think that I think that it was very well planned. And he made some huge mistakes, but I don't think anybody wants to get caught.
Well, why are you sitting in Bubba? Why you're gonna sit in a McDonald's when you're
hungry?
But on the run means you got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
And why didn't his parents identify him? I mean, it's so clearly him in those pictures.
Would you have identified?
We have
why his friends? I mean, I can't understand why there weren't 50 phone calls saying, "Oh, I know this guy. It's Luigi. I've seen him. He my sister."
Maybe they want to get involved. Dan, here's the deal: if you did something bad, would any of your brother? Hold on, let me just ask you a question. If you did something like this, would any of your brothers, Jimmy Clevis, Jeff Cheragante, Bubba Clem, Petty, all of your good friends, would any of us call and turn you in?
No, the phone call would be like this: FBI, yes, this is Seth Kushner.
Hi, you want to know this is Seth Kushner? Let me give you my Gmail account. And by the way, instead of the $5,000 and
Should we negotiate this reward?
Instead of $5,000 cash, I'd like to have a couple of Beckett pre-blasters, please.
I know that filthy Italian is. He's right in my studio.
I can tell you exactly what this guy's schedule is and when you can pick him up. If you'd like to get to the studios at 5021 in West Nassau, about 2 minutes in front of 6 o'clock on Monday, you can nab them.
You guys want him at the law firm, or do you guys want him at the surgery center?
I
or
got
do you-
addresses.
Wherever
You know they're
going to
You know they're going to want them here because this is the darkest. This is in the middle of the night. You could yoke up Dan way faster here with not a lot of people seeing than yoking him up at the law firm or yoking him up at the.
No, they'd
medical
want him
center.
to do the perp walk. They'd want
Yeah, they
everybody
do
to
it
see
on
it.
Bay Shore, right? As all the people going to the base in the morning, they'd have a whole block walled off with police cars, the whole 9
You
yards.
would get so much groupie mail.
Oh
This
yeah,
guy
if the Menendez brothers. I mean, oh my God,
Those guys.
Dan.
I mean, they're
All right,
they're
let's watch.
weird.
Let's watch the mayor of New
I
York.
mean, they're not built like a Luigi. That's for sure.
They're not Italian.
We have a strong person of interest in the shooting that shook our city last week. CEO Brian Thompson of United Healthcare was the victim of a senseless act of violence. Our officers have been working around the clock. Many of them did not go home to pursue this individual. It was crucial that we were able to remove him off the streets of America, and we were going to seek him out no matter where.
Well, now hold on. I appreciate this guy getting in front of the camera, but shouldn't the chief of police of Altoona, Pennsylvania, be pounding his chest?
Yeah,
He's
clean
the agency.
arrest.
Yeah.
He was at the time. He matches the description of the identification we've been looking for. He's also in possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this incident.
Earlier this morning in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Who's this old bag?
She's the head of the police, I believe.
What?
Yeah, I
New
think she's the
York?
police chief.
Oh, that's great. Then where? Then
What
where
is he, too white or too much of a woman? What is it, Bubba?
She's
no,
got-
she should have the proper uniform on. She needs to have a.
It's chilly.
She needs to have like the police badge and the.
Looks like her right shoulder's got something on the patch.
Yeah.
She's got
Members
something
of the
there.
Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione.
She looks like that chick from Saturday Night Live.
I always want
you know
to.
what I'm talking about?
I think the chief should look like Tom Selleck in blue. What's it called? Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods, yes.
Yeah, I think that's what the chief of police should always look like. Something like
Right.
that.
A 26-year-old male on firearms charges. At this time, he is believed to be our person of interest in the brazen targeted murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local.
By the way, man, that employee, if there was a cash reward Crime Stoppers tip, that person needs to get every dollar of it.
Well, they're going to get every 10,000.
$10,000.
Is it 10,000?
I don't even-
Yes,
That's
10,000.
pathetic.
They
But,
should-
and also, what they'll say is, you didn't call us first. You called the police instead of calling Crime Stoppers first, and then you don't get your reward. That's what they do to people.
Oh, for real?
Yep, that's a little twist that people don't realize. If Crime Stoppers has that reward and you call someone else before you call them, they're like, you didn't call us first, so.
That's bull crap.
Yeah.
Police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon
Unbelievable.
further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted
Jeez.
individual. Also,
I mean, they practically got the case wrapped up, don't they?
Seems like
I
it.
mean, it seems like
It's
they,
like, hey, I
okay.
want to make sure I keep all the evidence for you
Yeah,
guys.
let me make this easy for you guys so we can just really, really fast track this through the court system. You got the gun, you got the mask, you got various pieces of clothing,
Do you think that he believes at this point that he is...
Luigi?
Yeah, do you think that Luigi is convinced that what he did is going to
was
make...
like a good thing.
Well, no, that it's going to make changes in this country. I mean, because he seems very willing to go to jail and everything for what he did. I don't know if he was just trying to prove a point or if he was genuinely trying to start the process of making a change.
I think a little bit of both. I think he feels like a little bit of a vigilante where, was so frustrated. He's educated, obviously, as well, but he was so frustrated with what his poor mom was going through, what he was going through, that he feels like, maybe he can make a difference at the expense of, obviously, they're going to put this guy to death. I mean, obviously, I
Not
don't
in
know.
New York.
Yeah, true.
No.
He'll spend the rest of his life, and he'll
Maybe.
never see the. Yeah, I think
Maybe that's
him
why he went to New York and he didn't go to like Minnesota where the guy was from. Maybe that's because he
I
didn't
think
want the death
Minnesota. I
penalty.
don't think Minnesota has the death penalty either.
I don't think so.
Okay, what do I know?
Should have got him when he was maybe visiting grandma's in
Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID.
I mean, so the guy, Luigi, had all the fake IDs that he's used while living at the hostel and various other things he's had to present. He had the weapon. He had the suppressor.
He had the Starbucks receipt. He had,
I mean,
whatever you guys needed. He had
this
for you.
guy. I mean, like
Selfie
like
in front of the murder scene.
You don't even have to be an officer. You don't have to have any experience as a detective to get a conviction on this guy.
Yeah, his shirt
right?
said, "I did it."
Yeah, he probably
Matching
said
the ID are such.
He probably said, "Hey guys, you got that security footage? Well, I shot some on my phone. If you want to use
there
it."
you go. Let me give you my login to my YouTube. It's getting ready to drop all these other videos I got.
Suspect used to check into his New York City hostel.
Now, Dan, what happens to a guy like this that has the ability to pay? He obviously is not going to be given a public defender. Like, does he lawyer up and, are there instances where lawyers won't take this?
I think there are instances where lawyers won't take cases that are patently offensive to them. We're supposed to not judge a lawyer because he takes a case. It's a weird ethical sort of dilemma sometimes that we take cases that we don't really love, but we're lawyers and we are here to fight for our
So you're saying
client.
the community and the law system and the court system is not supposed to judge. Let's say you and Jay were to take this claim.
Not vilify us because we're defending
Right,
this
be
guy.
like, man, those dirty ass Diacos, they were defending Luigi. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so although Luigi gave them about 99.9% of what they need, he's not talking, apparently. And so at least that's helping.
He's a very smart guy.
Well, yeah, it's up to smart with in certain aspects, but would a really smart guy walk around with the gun, the ID, the mask, and all the other stuff?
Maybe he thought that he was going to get away with it and he was going to get to his destination, wherever that may be.
And then dump it?
I
would have dumped the gun in the Central Park with the backpack.
I would have put it in Hudson River, in the river.
Or in the river, exactly.
Yeah. It's hard to, listen, let me tell you something. It's hard to find things in water.
Yes,
it really,
especially cold water.
It's really, really harder, especially after. Yes, it's hard to find things and weight it. When you weight something down and you put it in water, by the time it could potentially float up to the surface, it's been 10 years of deteriorating inside
and
water.
guns aren't floating up, by the way. Secondly, in a river, there's a lot of soot and sediment. So if you drop a gun in a soft riverbed, it's going to sink and not be very visible.
Right,
Lummy?
Yeah.
Before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers
Lummy, all the guns you've gotten rid of have always been outside of,
Oh, yeah. There's like 3 feet of soot out there.
Recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
So is this validating the manifesto, baby?
No.
There is
They
a
have
manifesto.
a manifesto. He had one on him, but the one that I was reading this morning hasn't been confirmed to be the real one or not.
Oh, okay. So she's confirming there is one. We don't know the one that's been published is that one.
Correct. There's
Okay.
some inconsistencies.
Or the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
Man, we have just begun.
And
you know the happiest guy in the world is right now? P. Diddy.
Right.
P.
'cause he's not
Diddy's
in the
like,
paper.
man, maybe I can get. Remember when 9/11 occurred, and remember that was it Condon or
Yeah, the senator, I think.
the
right?
senator Gary Condon or something like that.
His intern
That
was
supposedly was murdered. His intern or paralegal or somebody like that was murdered in a park, and he was the suspect. And then 9/11 happened, and they completely just forgot about it.
Yep.
He also was not guilty, too. Didn't
Yeah.
they find him not guilty
Yeah, they found
eventually?
him.
But that story was buried, just like the Daniel Penny story was kind of buried after this.
Right. By the way, Daniel Penny yesterday, right? Yesterday was found not guilty on all charges. Black Lives Matter is mad. Everybody. Let me go to words so I don't get too far behind. We still got a lot of the
Luigi Mangione.
We still got a bunch of this, including. Did you see where this bitch, Taylor Lorenz, started giggling and said that she felt joy when Brian Thompson, the CEO of United, was killed, she giggled and kind of felt joy.
It's a lot. That's how a lot of people are feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe not on Piers Morgan, but at least all over the internet.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
Be happy.
There's Dr. Dan swinging that 48-ounce bat, looking like Luigi up there.
48 ounce out here.
No, there's no. Yeah, that's it. 48 ounce bat, like.
Great night. That was actually funny. Morning, Tyler. Jay Fish.
There ain't no rest for the wicked until you close your eyes for good.
Yeah, Gene.
What up, Fred?
Yeah, no, Fred.
What it do, what it do? Hope you're good, man. I've not been on Instagram a lot. What's up, Bubba Wendy?
Yo.
Any predictions for the end of the year, Bubba Wendy? Or you just work during hurricane season?
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to the Bubba Wendy on YouTube.
Cece's gone.
Man, I gotta see Gladiator. Gonna snow in Florida.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Clem Kush today. As your podcast, anywhere you get your podcasting stuff, go get it. iHeart, iTunes, Apple Play, Google Play, Spotify, Pandora. It doesn't matter.
Are you cool with doing like a topic per Clement Kush? Because I've been gathering up some UFO stuff that's been in the news recently. There's been some hearings and all that stuff. So I didn't know if that was something that you would like to dig into at all.
I mean, I just want to talk about all UFOs, but if you got about a couple of them, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, should you?
Well, I'm just trying to do. I feel like the shows just have to be more about something and not just about like everything, like a continuation of this show.
Whatever you want to do, buddy. Just tell me. After I sit in my chair, I'm all yours.
No, I know. I'm just trying to spike the numbers for the end of the year here. I didn't know if some alien talk could help do that.
UFO talk with Bubba.
We also need to get that one girl sent us over some copy. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
No, let's get that knocked out today as well.
We'll take care of those commercials for Yila.
That is her name. This is Pierce Morgan. And is that Tommy Loren that she's got? I like her.
Yes.
She originally started out with Glenn Beck, did she not?
Yes, the Blaze.
And then she got kicked off for saying, I forget what, it was something to do with abortion, I think.
Dude, what's Pierce doing? He makes the news and the clips and gets viral quite a bit, like more so than when he was ever probably getting paid, $20 million a year to do the news or whatever he was working on.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got it figured out. He certainly got it figured out. He had Taylor Lorenz?
Lorenz, yeah.
Who is she?
She's a left-leaning kind of person that's been in the news for
being happy,
doing things like this.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy. Unfortunately, because it feels like
serious.
I mean,
joy in
I
a
guess I would
man's
say
execution.
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're
this is a
watching
man
the footage.
responsible for
How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband. He's a father. And he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Thousands of Americans that he murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And
she was her biggest thing. She was a columnist at the Washington Post.
Okay,
so it's all par for the course. Heartless.
Look at Tommy Loren. God, she's hot. Is she
she's
not?
Beautiful.
Of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed?
I think if I got killed, there'd be some people that say I think it would be the same type of deal if I got killed.
Couple good, couple bad.
No, I think a lot of people would be like, "Yay."
Really?
Who have you heard?
Well, please, where's
Seriously though.
Well, I'm just.
You haven't heard a damn thing.
I'm not just I'm not a very well liked person, which is evident by how the media handles me, how the law enforcement community handles me, how the district attorney handles me, how the various sheriff's departments in Sarasota handle me. I'm just not I'm a very known unsavory character. Not to mention,
you're treated like a high-priced CEO of a insurance company, Bubba.
Yeah, I think if somebody
was that hates to the point they want you dead.
I think so.
Come on.
Let's go, executives. Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
Well, why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
I think because here, because it wouldn't fix the
You seem
system.
to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question
A
funny.
bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans
I don't find anybody that gets murdered execution style funny or giggles unless it would be somebody that was a child molester or somebody that was known to have hurt and murdered or killed or touched or wronged somebody.
Like okay, say the bomber from the Boston Marathon. Say they let him out early, like next year. Somehow there was a glitch in the case, and through a technicality, he got let off. This guy, bombed, maimed. Killed dozens and maimed dozens of people. Now, if someone came up to him in the back and did a vigilante thing on him, I could see people being a little less sympathetic.
Agreed.
die every year, and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix the system. You're right.
Fixing the system doesn't mean you have to kill the person that's the CEO of the corporation.
I agree. And if you really want to point the finger, I mean, you can point the finger at a couple other people besides the CEO. I don't know if these numbers are 100% accurate, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. But my understanding was the average denial rate prior to Obamacare was about 3 or 4%. And today, Blue Cross denies about 17% of their claims, and United Healthcare denies, I think, over 30% of their claims. And if that's the case, I understand wanting to bring awareness to this. Still, there's no defense to murdering or hurting someone with a gun. Absolutely zero. But there's now going to be, and maybe this is what this kid from Penn,
copycat.
Luigi. No. I think Luigi's goal may have been
to bring awareness,
to bring this conversation to the forefront, because I never saw those numbers. I never saw 3% versus 30%.
And hold on, you're in the industry,
right?
Meaning like you're a doctor,
right? So, and if that's really the case, then so who do you blame? Do you blame Obamacare because they put in a system that allows this? Do you blame the individual CEOs? Do you blame the whole system? Who do you blame? And do you blame John Roberts for saying that Obamacare was constitutional? I mean, there's a bunch of people you could blame.
I mean, here's the thing, and even Trump touched on it when he did his interview with NBC, Meet the Press, and she grilled him when he campaigned that he potentially might have a new way to look at Obamacare or a new package or something like that. I don't know that our healthcare system in America will ever be perfect. We've been through all types of different, ebbs and flows of rules and Obamacare, and it just, I don't know. Unless we have socialized medicine, which like what Canada does, where but at that point you literally have to raise your tax code to 50%. You wait. In order to be able for every American to have health care, you have to, our highest tax bracket now is 39%, and that's for people like Dan. The average person pays 28, 29, 30. And so, which is doable. But in order for us to have standardized health care for every American as a right, you literally have to raise your tax, to 50%, which is much like what Canada does. And I don't know that we'll ever have a perfect healthcare system. And unless we certainly I don't think we want the government in healthcare. I think the government now subsidizes healthcare through Obamacare, through the Affordable Cares Act. But I think this will be I think it's a discussion I think this healthcare discussion is discussions that we've had since we've been children. I'm sure our parents struggled with it. And, here's what happened. Here's what happened is that employers could no longer afford healthcare for their employees. Mm-hmm. I used to, back when we were, doing a lot better, through United, as a matter of fact, or Aetna, we had pretty good insurance.
Yeah,
and it cost me about $5,000 to $6,000 a month to provide health care insurance for my employees. Well, then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was the Affordable Care Act or what changed, but in 1 year, I had a rep. She came to me and she's like, "Listen, you want the same plan?" Yeah, everybody seems to like their plan. Manson had a family plan. Brent had his wife on it. And she goes, "Well, that same coverage that you guys had last year is now going to be double. It's going to be about 11,500. And I'm like, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. So I don't know what changed. Maybe you know more, Dan, about this as to what changed, because it was just a matter of years that healthcare doubled, in some instances tripled.
What year was that? Do you remember the year that happened? Where it jumped by doubling?
Like 10?
Yeah, 10, 12, 11, right around there. That's where my insurance skyrocketed.
10, 11.
And again, it's because Obamacare wasn't what it was sold to be. It wasn't just to cover a lot of poor people. It created all kinds of necessities that were unnecessary in insurance that made the costs go up dramatically, and it penalized anything.
It penalized employers who didn't offer health care.
If you had over 50 employees.
Oh, if you had over 50 employees.
Yeah, you had to have over 50 employees at the time. They keep changing it. The healthcare rules now are disgusting, and women should be mad that they're talking about covering transgender sex reassignment surgery, but a woman can't get a breast reduction and has to fight to get a breast reconstruction. And so, insurance has distorted their priorities. All they care about is giving kids vaccines and denying people coverage.
And cutting guys' wieners off and make them into girls.
We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that this murder has led to America, or really the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time. You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
I've dealt with the healthcare system.
How's this bitch not canceled? How is this bitch not canceled?
Well,
is it because
Bubba, a lot of whether whether they say it on Pierce or whether they're saying it online, a lot of people are very happy about what's going on here. And if they're not happy, then they're okay with it. I mean, I feel like she's speaking for at least half the people out there.
For the life of me, for a guy that's the head of a private company that. Listen, America can do things with their with their money, and just boycott United Healthcare. You don't have to kill the guy and then celebrate his death because he runs a for-profit healthcare service.
Yeah, but in most people's eyes, nothing is going to get done if they boycott United Health. What's going
to get done now, though?
I mean, Florida Blue adjusted some of their policy adjustments.
Well, last night,
day or two
literally in the last
this.
couple of days. they're republishing.
Maybe if you're the CEO, you're like, you know what? Maybe I'm looking at this all wrong.
I mean, look, Bubba, read chat. She's speaking for the people. She spits hot fire. She's saying it like it is. I mean,
okay. And then I stand corrected. I just.
No, you can feel that way.
I just find it hard to celebrate a guy that got gunned down.
No, I don't think people are co-signing in the fashion that it happened. I don't think they are quick to jump on board the ideologies of the killer. But I think there's a lot of people who are having a hard time finding reasons that this guy should have been left alive.
God. He's a human. He's a dad. He's a son. He's a husband. And so it's
how many other businesses how many other businesses in America that are gouging Americans? There's where do we begin?
All right, look, Internet Fred, I was denied a procedure to find the cause of cancer because it wasn't medically necessary. After fighting and the help of the doctor, they finally approved it.
Here's the deal. I'd like to see what was United Healthcare profits last year.
Oh, Jesus. Probably more than they've ever been in the history of the company.
Hey, Alexa.
And that's just a hunch.
They made a lot of money during COVID because no one could use their benefits because they were locked inside. They couldn't go see the doctor. So they made tons of money in 2020 and 2021.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Hey, Alexa, what were the United Healthcare profits of 2023?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Ask for 21.
Hey, Alexa.
22 billion.
I'm sorry, hold on. How much?
Which year?
Alexa, never mind.
2023, 22 billion.
We're about 21.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry.
22 billion.
Mm-hmm.
22 billion.
Oh, that's just chump change.
1/4 of what we sent to Ukraine.
Yeah.
2021 was 69 billion.
Grandma couldn't get her meds this month, but
the healthcare companies loved COVID. They made $69 billion.
Not healthcare companies, just
because no one went to the doctor.
One made $69 million.
So now they're trying to get denials because they're trying to get those numbers back. They can't get to those numbers back.
Yeah, they're only down to 22 now.
So on a trend here, it's showing their annual gross profit for 2021 was 69 billion. 2022 is 79 billion, and 2023 was 90.9 billion.
Wow.
The portfolio that the CEO Brian Thompson managed generated USD $74 billion in revenue in the most recent quarter.
What was his salary?
His $10.2 million annual compensation package included a salary, bonus, and stock options awards, made him one of the company's highest paid executives.
He's only getting $10 million a year?
Well, plus he probably had use of the jet, and he had stock options.
Yeah, well, Juan Soto's taking a leak on that. I'll tell you.
Right now, you know what, Dan? Right now, he's not making anything. Right now, doesn't matter what his salary was 15 days ago.
By the way, I read that Juan Soto wanted a free box with the Yankees, and the Yankees wouldn't do it because they made Aaron Judge and Derek Jeter pay.
What?
Not that was a deal breaker, but I did hear that was part of it.
They made the captain pay?
I guess they made the Aaron Judge and Jeter pay, so they felt like they couldn't give Soto one.
They should have. Man, that's not like the Bucks who gave Daddy Joe one for so many years and then give a discounted one to the Diacos just based on the legacy of their father. That just shows you the classiness of the organization. Am I wrong, Dan?
Yeah.
And that
you're correct.
I'm correct. And so the greatest Yank, arguably, if you're to talk about the Mount Rushmore of Yankees, wouldn't Derek Jeter be on that?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, so that you made that guy should have a lifetime box for free.
Well, I think the boxes are also in very high demand,
Yeah,
Bubba.
there are only a few of them.
They are. They are very high demand, but my God,
and you give away one. I mean, you give away one, you're giving it away forever. So
no, I mean, you give away a one that's why they didn't give one to. You mean you talking about while playing or post playing? Because while they're playing, man, I could not see why they would deny the captain / Derek Jeter one. But as he went on to be an executive and owner of the Marlins, which he's now since dumped, I can see them not wanting to give him a box post playing for the Yankees.
He's getting like $50 million a year. Buy a box, cheap ass.
I'm just saying.
That's the thing is they probably didn't have a problem buying boxes because of how much money they were making, but it looks like Soto wanted his tossed in. It looks like the Mets probably gave him one.
A lot of teams do that. A lot of teams will toss in. In fact, Dan, I think next to you there is a community players box where they have a lot of the family members. Mm-hmm. It's one box. I think they actually got 2 or 3 scattered throughout the box world.
Yeah, and that one actually now belongs to one of the coaches, I believe.
Okay, so a lot of teams will have like Seth. They'll have like 2 on one side and 2 on the other, and they have like a total of 100 so tickets. So if a player wants to send his wife and kid to the game, you go to one of 4 boxes.
Sure.
I think it's not that guy's box, but his family has access, and everybody in the box is going to be another player's family. Dan, I think that's what they do now.
Yeah.
Except Tom Brady. I think Tom had his own box. Tom had his own box.
He had his own box right there on the 50-yard line.
Didn't say the Buccaneers when Tom said, "Hey, you better throw in a box."
Giselle was getting jiu-jitsu, instructions in there while Tom was putting his heart on the field.
Ways in America. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but
what's that?
So they're in the bathroom together such a long time.
The idea that I would view it as something.
Have you been denied life-saving treatment?
The idea that I would view it as something joyful that a man who's just a healthcare executive has been executed in the street, I find completely.
Maybe they should have just kidnapped him until he lowered rates and then let him go.
Just like in the movies.
Bizarre.
So, I mean, she's catching a ton of heat.
Well, and she should, because she is celebrating his death, and it's disgusting because if her family had a loss like that and someone was mocking their professionalism, she'd be outraged.
A lot of people that you can publicly giggle at on a major social media platforms that has the eyeballs and the viewership of Pierce Morgan at a person's death. I mean, there's you just can't. regardless of what that, what's the guy's name? Brian Thompson. Brian, what was the guy's name that died?
The CEO.
Yeah,
Brian Thompson.
Listen, yes, the healthcare industry's just by default, all Americans hate healthcare to begin with.
Yes.
Even if you have the best plan in the world, you're still probably paying a lot for it. And and anytime you got an issue, the copay / you go see gotta see a regular doctor first, then referred to a specialist, and just all the nonsense that they make you go through. The healthcare system is very, very broken here in America. Does that mean that the CEO deserves to die? No. Does that mean that the CEO deserves to be giggled at on a major? No. I don't know that you can really do that to very many people. Now, I would have giggled, the guy who took a shot at Trump, and I giggle at that. I rejoice in how that guy got gunned down. Right?
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald, not that he necessarily did it. I think he was a patsy, but, you could celebrate. There are some people that get killed that you can celebrate. The bad guys. But was Brian Thomas really a bad guy? I guess in somebody's opinion he was. Enough to get killed?
Some people are arguing that he was murdered or assassinated because he was going to testify in Congress.
Yeah, I don't want to be Mr. Conspiracy, but that's a decent point that we had mentioned before, too, is that it doesn't seem like a coincidence.
Here is Luigi. What's that?
Luigi
Mangione.
Yeah, Luigi Mangione. Here is, this is, I think, him.
Yeah, he was born 80 years too late.
This is him, the Altoona, Pennsylvania police, after picking him up at McDonald's. This is him taking him out of the squad car, kind of his perp walk. Very, very, very quickly.
He said he has said nothing to the cops so far.
And really, quite frankly, this is all the footage they have of the guy. This is it.
Wonder how his back's feeling on those prison beds. Oof.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff floating around. Bubba, obviously, his Twitter was found. He's got a YouTube that's supposedly ready to launch some content. His Instagram was found. He had a lot of shirtless pictures. His sister posted about him yesterday. We actually have an exclusive photo of Luigi up on our Instagram right now. I IM'd it to you.
You did?
Yeah.
Let me see. Is this a never seen before?
Never before seen picture, of Luigi.
Let me see here. Is that him in his bodybuilding days?
Yeah.
You mean Luigi or Dan?
Dan, is that really you?
Yeah.
When?
Oh no, I was about 26. I was surfing in North Carolina. I found those pictures from the hurricane flooding.
Wow. Damn, Dan.
He kind of looks like the little picture I have next to me.
No.
He thought it was Luigi.
This looks better.
Way better.
No, I know. I'm talking about Luigi.
He was a little Deca Puffy over there on. He was really hitting the weights and other things.
I had just gotten done surfing for an hour and a half, so I was all pumped up.
No, what
here.
I'm talking about here is you look a little thinner than you do in the picture next to Lummy. You look like a runway model here.
Oh, thank you.
That's you?
Yeah.
What did Romina think when she saw it?
Oh, I showed her.
This is what she.
It's only showing the fellas.
This is what his wife masturbates to. She's like, "Where's that Donnie? I miss that Donnie. That's the Donnie that I married."
Dan's figuring out how to turn these all into posters to give out for the holidays this year.
Yeah, I can put on coffee mugs
on his waiting room. He's going to have it in his waiting room. So this is Luigi Mangione, the guy that gunned down Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. This is his Twitter, right?
Yeah.
double strapper.
You can see that his followers have grown. I think they said
he's up to 287,000 now.
Yeah.
Let me just refresh it and see if it's even gone up more since.
190.
Oh my God! So just since this morning when you sent it to me,
10,000.
He's already picked up 10,000.
I think he said he had like 600, maybe like a couple days ago.
Wow.
7 years ago, I gave my high school senior speech on this topic. Today, I will be talking to you about the future, about topics ranging from conscious artificial intelligence to human immortality.
He's going to live forever in jail.
Likely, you'll dismiss all of this pretty quickly as interesting, but just science fiction. And then I guess he gets into this stuff. Dan, what's this? The normal range of possible states for the human race constantly shifting.
Yeah, either it's going to be immortal or extinct. And I think neither one is going to happen for a long, long, long time.
I'm trying to find, Lummy, anything that he actually...
And we're trying to make ourselves immortal. We're trying to live forever. We're trying to arrest cellular death. I mean, it's something that, he understands that that's the trend. We're either going to kill ourselves off or we're going to find this sort of immortality, which is an interesting theory. It's kind of replicated in a book called Homo Deus.
He's pretty smart.
No, he's a smart guy up to a point.
Well, I mean, but then again, he's so smart that a smart guy wouldn't have got caught the way he did, and it almost
he won.
And that's what I'm saying. Unless that was his plan, like,
but what a stupid plan! You're in jail for the rest of your life. It doesn't help you at all. Is he that selfless that he'd rather sacrifice his entire existence? A good-looking, smart, wealthy guy.
No, remember,
just to make a point?
His family hadn't heard from him for like a year. There were a lot of people, I guess, who had been reached out to after the fact when they found out his name, who went to high school with him. And they said that after he had that back surgery, his mentality just kind of changed. He was a little off his rocker. So, I mean, the last year of his life where his family hasn't heard from him, who knows what he's been doing? If he's not well.
When we come back, we're going to play his 2016, he was the valedictorian.
Oh, man, these speeches are the worst, but I am interested to see what he said.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes.
We're the future.
This is the guy that gunned down CEO Brian Thompson of United Healthcare. This is his speech. He was the smartest guy at Gilman High School. Is this in Hawaii?
No, he's from Pennsylvania.
From Pennsylvania.
He just lives in Hawaii.
And so he was the valedictorian.
Sorry, I think he's from Maryland.
And he had an 8-minute speech that we'll get into next.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Come on.
The 10 Commandments are for sale.
The 10 Commandments?
It just said the 10 Commandments are for sale from a movie.
No, it's focused to the real ones. Moses saw when he was fucking high.
Oh, so are they going to sell the Ark of the Covenant too?
Yeah.
I don't know what they got, Lummy, okay?
10 Commandments in the Ark of the Covenant, technically you're not allowed to touch.
I spent my last $200 on the Trump cologne,
No,
okay?
That's what the whole thing is. You can touch it.
I need your love, never needed love before.
You couldn't actually touch
the Ark of the Covenant?
You couldn't touch it. There's wooden handles.
That's why the handles were wood, so you could touch those?
Yeah, but you weren't allowed to touch the...
Which you couldn't take
only
a cap
the
highest priest.
Whatever they were called back then, were allowed to go and see, which had to be always in the temple. Because even when they were going through the desert, they had to carry around, if they wanted to look at like these tents. And then Ark of the Covenant, because you had to go in the tents.
You couldn't do it in the open air?
Tent.
You couldn't do it in open air?
Correct.
You had to be in something?
So people couldn't see it. Because realistically, weren't you supposed to look at it? Looking at it could cause you to die.
Just age rapidly, like in the movie.
Like in Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just melt. What's up, Paul Rogers? For his ear.
I mean, this is the same stuff we were running yesterday.
It starts again. The 90 minutes starts again every day.
It's only 90. We only have a 90 minutes.
Or no, whatever video you made, and then they put it in, but it's this.
But I thought they had others. I made a 56-minute one.
56 minutes, yeah.
All right, well, we only have 5 times 8. We only have 48 minutes.
Well, I know they have to plug it. Well, yeah, because this one right now, because they started it yesterday. It starts back up every day.
No, but I thought they had made a couple.
They did. I think Rhett was kind of had his hands full.
We got to get theirs in there, too. We just can't keep rerunning mine. We gotta build 10 of them. I'll build some more this weekend if I got a chance.
So you do want obviously 5, at least 5. You want a different one every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Start mixing water.
Hey, Paul Rogers.
No. FJ bar 75.
Motherfucker, what the fuck?
Good cheese stick recommendations. What's up, Mitch? Nick the gun guy. Iggy, morning.
What's up, Iggy? What's up, neighbor boy?
Ghost of profiles past. PA is home to a lot of killers. They love it. All Rogers. Keep cool.
What's up, Roger?
Need more holes. You guys have an opinion on the Canic TT?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Clem Kush with a list of topics. Today, you can download it anywhere you get podcasting, or you can simply go join our YouTube channel and watch it. Or you can just simply subscribe and get a notification on our YouTube channel. And that's for free. And you can listen to it. So everything live. Or Bubba, don't forget Bubba Army HQ.
Yes.
That's one-stop shopping.
A lot of people are still saying they're having trouble signing up for the YouTube membership deal.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to go on your desktop a lot of times. Certain phones, you just can't see the join button.
There was one of the guys wanted to know if we had it blocked in like New Hampshire or something.
Really?
Yeah, he emailed us last night. I deleted it.
Didn't even answer him?
I asked him if he tried it out. I answered him.
I figured somebody would. It goes to all of us.
This is Luigi Mangione, whatever the hell his name is. The guy that killed Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. This is his speech from Gilmore, or whatever the hell, high school. Was it an all-boys school? Looks like it.
It's a $40,000 school, though. That one.
$40,000 per year?
Yes.
Wow. Dan, it's
a lot.
That's like Jesuit type deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an all-boys school in Baltimore.
What is the most expensive school in this area?
Probably Berkeley.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's probably around 30.
I'm sure
28, 30.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So if you would start your kid in first grade or kindergarten,
It's a little cheaper.
Yeah, they don't charge that much.
We looked at it.
Was it like close to 18, 20?
Yeah, it's like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
like what?
So it's $250,000 for high school that should be free because you're paying property tax. Stupid.
Yeah, and boy, if you were just to take your house, your former house, which now Bella lives in, Jay's house, and Steve's new house, and could just those 4 homes and property taxes alone would probably be $300,000 to $400,000.
That's at least 2.
Yeah.
Well set. Congratulations. Thank you.
I mean, Dan, let's not forget, you were this person at Northeast High School.
Yep, I did the valedictory. But it wasn't all boys, and we have like 500 people.
I understand, but did you give a speech?
At Bayfront Center.
Do you have your speech?
I have a copy of the speech. I don't have a video of it
You
because we
don't?
didn't have video back then.
You didn't have video back then?
No, I mean,
And if you did,
it would be like a Super 8 from
and if you did have
800
video,
yards.
the machine was like the size of a briefcase that you had to put on your shoulder. It was literally like, the size of a small TV.
Yep. They published my entire speech verbatim in the paper. It was a good speech. Mommy helped me write it.
Maybe Dan, maybe we could reenact it one day.
Okay. So is it? I like their shirts because they're all light blue. That's pretty funny.
Here we go. This is the guy now in custody in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Is this where people are going to start picking off stuff and saying he was leaving Easter eggs of the murder?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe nobody has heard the guy talk, so this is probably the first. I mean, I don't know if
Welcome to my graduation.
I don't know, Lummy, if he has any speaking roles on his Twitter or not, but this is probably the longest form 8 minutes. It's 8 minutes. This is probably the longest form that anybody will have him speaking. The murderer of the CEO of United Healthcare, who's now apprehended in Altoona, Pennsylvania, after having gone to a McDonald's. McDonald's should use that as a McRib endorsement, saying even cold-blooded killers who are on the run cannot resist the taste of the new McRib.
Headmaster Smythe, Mr. Hubeck, members of the Board of Trustees, family, friends, faculty, and fellow students, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Gilman's 116th Founders Day. I'm honored to be speaking to you all today on behalf of the Gilman class of 2016. When I started writing the speech, I talked with several students and teachers and asked how they would describe the class of 2016. Many of the students characterized our class as inventive, in both imagination and initiative. At the same time, several teachers reminded me of our class's commitment to Gilman and its traditions. I came to realize that both views are correct. The class of 2016 is truly defined by its inventive, pioneering mentality that accompanies a strong commitment to Gilman tradition. Throughout its time here at Gilman, the class of 2016 has been coming up with new ideas and challenging the world around it. Our selling of Chick-fil-A during lunch, arguably the staple of our class, provides a great example.
When they allowed Chick-fil-A to set up a little Chick-fil-A stand.
In our sophomore year, when brainstorming ways to fund
So no wonder you didn't get caught at a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. We didn't just settle for the usual methods of selling spirit shirts and Christmas trees. In addition to this
speech sucks.
Yeah.
This guy. I thought this guy would have more pizzazz for being a murderer.
Well, and also being a calculated, cold-blooded murderer, not just a murderer. Anybody can whip out a gun and kill somebody, but he had it calculated. He had a suppressor. He had 3 fake IDs. He had set this. He did some. I mean, obviously there was some R&D, some research, and some development, if you will. I mean, he just didn't happenstance see this guy rolling down the street. He knew this guy was going to be at this particular had a speech to go to. He knew the guy would be traveling down that road. He was very well prepared, right? I mean, this guy.
Yes.
This is a very calculated person.
Possible given the tight schedule of the school day, and began shuttling dozens of Chick-fil-A sandwiches to Gilman between assembly and lunch. Soon, we were selling over 100 Chick-fil-A sandwiches each day, in what became likely one of the most successful class fundraisers in Gilman's history.
Enough for me to buy a 3D printed non-serial serial gun and a suppressor.
Ability to come up with new ideas didn't start then. I've noticed it as long as I've been here.
This bald guy with the bow tie looks like the killer to me.
Yeah.
Very first year as a 6th grader. If any of you have ever been on Gilman's campus before school starts, you would have noticed that every morning, rain or shine, the turf is filled with middle school students playing soccer, football, and frisbee. That tradition was actually started by the class of 2016. As many of you know, Gilman Middle School offers not one, but 2 recesses per day. But for the class of 2016, that wasn't enough.
No, we needed a third.
Luigi said we need a 3 recesses.
Not 1, not 2, but 3. We need 3 recesses.
So, as 6th graders, rather than sitting in the hallways waiting for school to begin, we decided we'd give ourselves an extra morning recess before the morning even started. And now,
that's just called getting to school early. Don't try to pat yourself in the back that you created a third research.
He's framing an extra recess.
Yeah, you
No
dumbass.
kidding, yeah.
That's called your mom. You know what? Your mom has to be at work by 7:30. School didn't start till 8, so she dropped you off at 7:20 so she can make it to work on time. Dumbass. Don't try to frame it as something that you did in a not 1 to 2 but 3 recesses.
Yeah, we used to play basketball when we got dropped off.
Yeah.
early.
7 years later, that morning recess remains as a regular part of every school day.
Morning recess. It should be called early drop-off, you dumbass.
Of course, this isn't
Johnny Embellisher.
anything revolutionary, but it shows that even early on, the class of 2016 was challenging the world around it.
It's very narcissistic to me.
Yeah.
You think your class is the first one that invented getting dropped off early? You dumbass.
Well,
Having great ideas, however.
every speech is about how that class, they're all going to be trailblazers.
Dan,
Right?
how was your speech? Was your speech more about like how you guys killed it and how you guys are going to continue, or was it
with the Chick-fil-A fundraiser?
Yeah,
off
with
the
the
charts?
Chick-fil-A fundraiser and a third recess kicker.
Yeah, I was talking about all the Krispy Kreme donuts we sold between classes.
But what can you just off the top of your mind?
I remember I talked about the metaphor of we were golden nuggets, and you can do one of 3 things with it. You can bury it, you can blow it, or you can invest it. And so it was a good speech. It had a theme, and it was comprehensive. It had a beginning and an end, and it all made sense together. It was an organized speech. It was a great speech, and so I'll provide it for you, Bubba.
However,
it'll take me 3 minutes to get through it.
To innovate.
Did you get a standing ovation?
Hell yeah! All Bayfront Center stood up and clapped.
2016's invented.
Back when there was a Bayfront Center.
Yeah, well, this is all like some really
also
bad
stems from
dance.
its incredible courage to explore the unknown and try new things. Just look at a few highlights from our senior year.
Oh yeah, let's look at some highlights.
Oh, yeah.
One, you can see here, I'm developing a gun with a suppressor.
Yeah, I spent a lot of after hours with the guy with the bow tie, the bald guy with the bow tie.
This April, 5 seniors performed in Gilman's spring musical, The Addams Family, all of whom had no prior musical experience. 3 seniors,
I bet it sucked.
Jeremy Booth, Gus Meny, and Jake Goodwin, lended lead roles, while Tommy Morey and Chris Wolf helped put on the show that I doubt any of us will forget. How about this winter, when Kevin Wang delivered a senior speech? As Kevin moved to America and joined our class in 9th grade, English isn't his first language. But that didn't stop him from delivering a both hilarious and thought-provoking speech about his transition to the United States. How about Ray Saunders leading Gilman's first-year cybersecurity team?
Whoa. Ooh, cybersecurity. Now we're getting into somewhere.
Even competing against hundreds of veteran teams, the Gilman squad managed to advance to the state and then regional championships.
Don't bust me up. Would your team win state this year?
Cybersecurity.
Fiber? I'm sorry, football?
No, cybersecurity.
Soccer?
No.
Girls basketball?
No.
What?
State champs, cybersecurity.
Hey,
Wow.
you guys must get laid all the time.
Don't bust me up, buddy. I bet the skirts are going crazy on that, huh?
Do you think this guy? Do you think at this moment that he had it inside of him that he was a killer?
Nope. No,
or that got developed
Yeah.
when he got exposed to insurance stuff.
I think it developed. I think it manifested and developed.
But aren't you either a killer or you're not? Like I know there's been some in betweens, but I mean, I feel like you either have it in you or you don't.
I mean, I'm a killer. I want to kill some people, but I can
could you do it?
But I can suppress it.
Yeah, with a suppressor.
No, meaning like I don't have to. I mean, I know I'm not going to go out and do it.
All of these endeavors take a
I mean, I think every one of us, if we were to be intellectually honest, and maybe those that are listening as well, probably every one of us has somebody we'd like to kill. I mean, not everybody's that goody two-shoe nice. Oh, I forgive. No, there's some people you want to kill. Not
like kill or just want to see them have a pretty awesome downfall.
Kill. Yeah. Kill.
Have their family mourn them and stuff.
Kill.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd say there's 2 or 3.
Huge amount of courage.
Yeah, I mean, I probably got 2 or 3 on my kill list.
Oh, there you go.
If it was legal, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Dan, do you got 2 or 3 on your kill list? Or you in a position that you have in the community, you probably shouldn't answer that question.
I have about 15 on my kill list.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to cover your ass, and you tripled down on me.
He's got 15.
Seth,
Be careful so it doesn't turn into 16.
Seth, I mean, is there anybody if you could get away with it?
But you're talking about me living with it too, Bubba. I mean,
that's not the hard part.
I know. That's not the hard part.
I would sleep better at night knowing I killed this guy.
Oh man.
Oh, it's only one, Bubba? Or you said about 3?
No, there's. Let me see. 1, 2.
Take a long knife.
4.
Oh, 4.
Guys who go to war and kill people there, I mean, some of that messes them up. I mean,
yeah, but they're killing. They're not killing people that have done anything wrong to them.
Yeah, they're not killing people that they necessarily want to kill. I mean, maybe some of them.
I would
kill if a guy raped my sister or something. I'd want to kill him.
Yeah, no, I get that. I just don't. I don't have. Nobody's raped my sister, so I don't have that kind of hostilities. I mean, I think that there's one person I wouldn't mind seeing go into a long coma. Maybe never wake up, but I'd be hard for me to put the bullet in their face.
Oh, I would. If I was in the middle of a desert with, I can think of about 4 people, and I knew I could shoot them and never get caught ever.
That takes a special kind of psychopath, though, Bubba, to kill somebody and just keep going about your normal life.
Oh, I have no problem. I don't have any interaction with these people now, so them not being alive does nothing for me. I could care less about their families. Whether
yeah, but you don't think you'll have PTSD of like seeing their heads explode?
No, I don't get it. No, I'd actually.
No, that'd be awesome.
I'd be like, yeah, you know what, Rhett? You and I need to start hanging out more often because you and I are the same. It'd be awesome.
Been trying to tell you that
to see a couple of these people's heads completely brain matter go everywhere, and then I'd talk to them after I kill them. Now, how you feeling, bitch?
Go in and try to
I might cut their head off too.
Oh.
I might cut their head off as a memento. That's
a lot harder to do, Bubba.
In theory, I mean.
Yeah.
They demonstrate that the class of 2016 truly has the fearless.
Yeah, I'd leave them headed. I wouldn't be. I mean, that's an excellent. I mean, I've killed.
Would you cover their face because of someone you cared about?
No, I don't care about them.
Okay.
I'd shoot them. I would make them. I would torture them.
In theory.
This sick stuff, dude. Reservoir Dogs, that scene didn't bother you?
All of my talk. What business are we in?
Show business.
It's all rhetoric. It's all hyperbole. It's all make believe. Nobody knows. I can't kill anybody and get away with it. Please.
Many things.
I mean, I can't even get away with not paying my taxes. So please.
And the obvious ability to excel. But as inventive as the class of 2016 is. Our class was able to explore the new while also preserving the old.
I've seen enough of this guy. This is the guy that killed the CEO. Again, let me refresh. We were at 297 on his X about 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yes.
We were at 297.7. Let's go ahead and 209. He's gaining about 2,000 every 15 minutes.
Not bad.
Of various shows. By the way, if you want this guy's Twitter, it's at Pep Mangione. So it's PEP. It's at PEP MANGIONE. That's the guy. That's the killer that they have in custody right now. Manifesto found reportedly mentioned United Healthcare criticized insurance industry. Now, is this the manifesto?
There's only like a little sentence if you go down a little bit right there.
Where?
Yeah, about the parasites.
Oh, let me look. I just got man.
They released like a tiny little clip or not a tiny little sentence.
What did it say? These parasites will pay.
It says the parasites had it coming. I do apologize for any strife for trauma, but it had to be done.
That's what they've taken from the excerpt.
That's authentic. 100%.
That's authentic. That's authentic. We don't know. We don't know if this one is authentic or not.
Yeah, that's the one that I was reading this morning. It does not have that line in there. It doesn't mention Brian Thompson by name,
so
which are some of the inconsistencies.
Right. So I'm not going to even report it because it doesn't have that one line, and that's been verified. That one line has been verified by law enforcement to have existed.
Yeah.
So any manifest that does not have that.
It doesn't.
It's not 100%. Like, it could end up being true. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Let me go into words. When I come back, Taylor Swift has officially ended the Eros. Is it Eris?
Eris,
whatever it was 152 nights? I think it was 152 stops globally.
Man, I don't know. I saw it was over 2 million tickets sold.
Yeah, it was. I think it was
2 million. She made $2 billion in ticket sales.
She made $2 billion just in ticket sales. That's
149 shows spanning 5 continents.
All right, so it's close.
Yeah,
149 shows in 5 continents, and just on ticket sales, $2 billion. How much on merchandise?
I didn't see that at all.
Let me see if you can look up.
I doubt they'd release that information. You can find out tickets just because of what they charge, but I don't think Taylor Swift people will be like, hey, we made $400 million off merch.
Are they doing another movie for this tour like they have the last ones?
They did. They just put a book out that was people were lining up at Target for on Black Friday. It was $40, so that covers the whole thing. And I guess she's getting ready to put a vinyl out that's already almost sold out. So
yeah, once they officially push out that concert movie, she'll finally be able to put a cap on it, but that's a lot of money.
So listen, man, she makes the money from the tour. She makes the money from the merchandise. She makes the money from the live album they recorded during the deal. And then she makes the money from the book and or movie that she made while doing the tour. So she takes that tour and she splits it 3 or 4 ways of added value content. And, oh, my God, that's why she's able to give. Listen, so it's all over now.
Well,
when I come back, I'll report she gave $200 million in bonuses to various performers.
To everybody, like truck drivers, dancers, everybody on top of their salaries.
$200 million in bonuses. What a good person, man. Mm-hmm. God, what a good person.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Yeah, Oscar's 5K survey, the new screen name. Curtis Enright, $20 on the Venmo.
Whoa. Steve Coco and Just Here fighting.
Oh man, this is a B-roll. Oh shit.
You might as well. Why not?
Did that surprise you, Seth?
Maybe.
I just hate seeing this motherfucker.
No, when you said that, I looked up and I go, oh shit.
Yeah.
I love seeing the motherfucker. I love seeing the motherfucker act like an asshole that's going to end up fucking costing him. I love it.
Oh my god, the jowls. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. What's up, Thomas? Holy fuck.
What's wrong?
There's just some jowl movement on this video that was just very disturbing.
Oh, it is disturbing. It's like watching the neck of Jabba the Hutt. He's swallowing
I know.
the live food.
Nasty, nasty, nasty. Man, Jamar Chase, what a fucking freak! And the Bengals never fucking paid him. Never smart. Never smart. 93 grabs, 1,300, 15 TDs. What, 4 games left? What's up, Timothy? I just read that, Neil, actually. I saw Nolan Arienda might get traded. I wonder how much they want for him. I didn't know the Cards were rebuilding. I didn't know they ever would rebuild. I thought they always pretty much put out a team that could consistently win. You got Mason Wynn. They got Jordan Walker. Are they going to get rid of Goldschmidt?
Sir, is it surgery day today, Dan?
No, office.
What up, Longer?
Is that coming up Saturday?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, he's not. He wouldn't. There's no fucking way.
I gotta stay inside all weekend. I gotta get ready to host the show on Monday. I'll be prepping topics for 48 hours.
You don't think we could put up the little VIP tent?
What are those virtual football places now where it looks like you're actually at the game?
Oh.
Have you seen those?
What?
They're popped up in different cities around the
Yeah,
country.
I'm trying to think what they're called.
But we should do that for the track.
There you go.
It feels like you're actually there.
Then you could go.
Absolutely. I'd be balls deep in that virtual reality world.
Watching the monster truck.
Maybe I'll go live.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
As the killer of the CEO from United Healthcare, Luigi Mangione. When we first started, it was to his Twitter, which is at Pep Mangione, at PEPMANGIONE, has gained 35,000 followers since. And since we opened up the show this morning.
What do you think he's going to next update his page?
Well, I don't think.
Well, you can in jail. Didn't
Can ya?
Well, what's his name do his Twitter? The lawyer or
Michael Avenatti.
Yeah, he's on Twitter.
Yeah, he is.
I think he goes on every day.
So anyway, you know that as various radio shows and content and streamers and news sources and everybody's talking about this guy. This is the leading story. I would say this is the leading story in the world.
And it's partially because he's so good looking too. If he was just like some jobber looking guy, no one would care. But it's so bizarre that he's good looking and smart.
Purple haired transitioning guy.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't hear anything about it.
Nobody would care. But this guy is so good looking and so smart that it makes people want to gravitate to him.
I actually read another layer that said because he's 26, and they go, man, 26 is a weird age to kill a CEO, and somebody said that 26 is the age that you have to come off your parents' insurance.
Oh, is that for real?
I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know if we're doing a movie
That's
here.
true. That is true.
I don't know if we're doing a movie or it's just, but that's what I read.
I got 3 weeks to the day left on my parents' health insurance, and then I got to get my own.
Phew. So anyway, like I was talking about earlier, Taylor Swift gave a whopping 100. We might as well call it 200 million. $197 million in bonuses for the Eras tour for performance crew, and on top of the salaries they already got. Wow.
I don't know if this breaks it down by what she gave everybody, but I know the first run of her Eras tour, she gave the truck drivers each $100,000.
Right. I saw that.
Wow.
And that was like just halfway through.
Yeah, they had Ted. I mean, this has been going on for years. So
I really don't know of anybody, and even me, who has no business really being a Swiftie, so to speak. I'm a Swiftie. I think her music's pretty good, and I think she's just an overall great person. I
saw somebody say it yesterday that they said we made the right person famous, and I think that's exactly correct.
I think you're right.
She's brought a lot of happiness and changed people's lives with her music, and the people that have worked for her. There was something I read on Twitter yesterday where there was a truck driver who worked for Taylor Swift, and he came home and told his son that he was going to be able to send him to college now.
Nice.
So
and really realistically, there's always something.
Beyonce gave I guess all of the people on her last tour as a bonus. She gave them a signed poster.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh, that's
of her.
nice.
Yeah, she's a POS though.
Right.
I've always said that about her. I've never liked her.
I've never heard of anything bad about Taylor Swift. I mean, she is so correctly managed, and she is just so, I wouldn't say prestige, but I would I would say
she's a very good person, man. She's
just clean. She's not. She just does all the right things. You don't see her.
Except for she should have stayed out of politics. She could have, and she didn't have to. And she opened her mouth, and she was so close to the finish line. She should have just said nothing.
Nah, but it's her right. It's her right.
But you're saying talk about perfect. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, but
let's be
deal.
honest. She was 99% perfect. Except when she got involved in politics.
Here's the deal. If you're a guy and you take politics aside, what else can you blame her for? Nothing.
No, but I'm saying you're talking about perfection as a celebrity, is keeping her nose perfectly clean, and she did up until the point in which she got a little political. Other than that, you're right, Bubba. She has a flawless track record,
and her who she endorses as a candidate should still keep her track record flawless, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It obviously didn't have any effect on the outcome.
No.
It doesn't matter. Does it make you less of a fan?
No.
Okay, then, and you're as MAGA as they get.
I'm not as MAGA as they get, number one. Number two.
Yeah, you are.
Number two, it's just better when celebrities and singers stay out of politics because it is so polarizing.
Curtis Enray, $20.
But she didn't, and nobody did. Everybody
a
throws.
lot of people did. A lot of people got paid to say good things about Kamala too.
Well, I guarantee you that Taylor Swift was not paid a dime for her endorsement. Her endorsement came
you
organic.
Guarantee me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, why she would scoff? There's no amount of money.
Oprah's a billionaire. She took a couple $1 million.
Yeah, no, that was to create content. That was to create a special and to create content and to try to move the ratings needle and stuff like that. And you know what? Oprah is an absolute is a bitch for she should have provided that as an in-kind contribution. If she really did back Kamala, she shouldn't. You don't charge your friends for what Oprah did for Kamala. You don't charge your friends for
right.
that. You don't. So I guarantee you Taylor didn't charge Kamala anything for her endorsement. That's how she felt. She let it be known. And guess what? I didn't agree with Taylor Swift's political endorsement, but doesn't change my mind about her.
I don't care about her
bit.
singing. She wasn't touching kids. I don't care about her political endorsement if I'm listening to her sing. I agree with you 100%. I don't like being preached to like
Bono
does. You too.
Oh no! See,
That's different.
Bono does.
He ruins
Bono,
a concert.
Bono is on the other side of Taylor Swift. Bono does it stupidly, where he incorporates his political affiliation and his views in his show, and it's just horrible.
Yes.
He's made U2 unlistenable as a. I went to U2 when they were here.
Green Day does that.
When they played at the Big Sombrera and Flavor Flav opened up for him.
Yep.
And I went to that show, and he wasn't like that back then.
Flavor Flav and U2?
Flavor Flav opened. Yes.
Ah, what a great
Check
concert.
it out.
Yeah. For the
1992.
time, that's such an odd lineup.
1992, 93-ish, I took Holly to the Big Sombrera, and I actually got a picture with Flavor Flav backstage, but it was him and YouTube and the Big Sombrera circa 92, 93, and Bono wasn't all about preaching to him. They just played the hits, and it was a great concert. But, so Taylor Swift, she just, you know what?
She's never said one word on stage.
Never. She privately, she said, I endorse this chick. On stage, she does her show, period. And
she did 50. By the way, her first leg, she gave out $55 million in bonuses. So I think this was an end of the tour.
It's $247 million. Total.
Yeah, and pretty much tips, yeah.
Did you forget a couple Venmos? Did you see George just now?
George Siska, 25.
Yeah, there you go.
You get him before me.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, it's Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the Luigi guy. You guys don't find it oddly suspicious that 5 days on the run, so calculating, as you said, and they find him with every piece of evidence on him that can convict him?
So this is everything's a conspiracy theory?
Yeah, no, hold on. Yes, we do find that.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. To answer your question, yes, we do find that odd. Yes, we do.
That's all I was calling about.
Yeah, we find
it's also odd that a guy would kill a CEO in the middle of New York City. That's also odd.
One of the busiest places.
I know, but if he takes the time to try to hide from the cameras, hide his face, and do all that on the run for 5 days from the NYPD and the FBI, and they're going to find him with the gun.
So what's your theory? So what happened? What's your theory?
So listen,
I don't have a theory, but you talk about Oswald being a Patty or Pat.
Patsy.
No, listen, sir.
I just find it oddly suspicious.
We agree with you, but we cannot come up with a conclusion as to why, when, where, or how. We do agree with you that a guy that's this smart, this calculated, that he would be, caught with everything that pins him to the crime, and he wouldn't have, disposed of the weapon and just gotten rid of all that stuff and continued to, cover his face and not be at McDonald's, wide open on the internet. There's a lot of unknown answers here and a lot of it breeds conspiracy, but we don't know where to start, and he's not talking. So we don't know. I mean, yes, very well, he could be. There could be something more behind it, but we can't figure it out. Nobody can.
No theories here. Just the beginning of it. It's early, so I was curious about that.
Thank you, bud.
Guys.
Appreciate it. I mean, very smart guy, very good looking, comes from a good family. Family's involved in state politics. Went to a private school. Was the valedictorian of his school. This was a very calculated thing. He most recently became very upset with United Healthcare and the lack of coverage that he was provided for his back and the lack of coverage for his dying mother. And he knew that this CEO Brian Thompson was going to be talking at this particular convention at this particular time. Positioned himself. Along the guy's walking route to, it's my understanding it was only a few blocks away from where he was, from the hotel to where he was speaking. And this, Luigi guy knew, made every effort to have a gun that was suppressed. He made every effort to, while he was in New York City, to somewhat, hide his identity.
By the way, the mother thing is not true, or not been.
The what thing?
When Bubba says his mother was sick, that's.
I thought
That's not true?
No, that's part of the manifesto that hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
did
okay.
lose his grandmother and I think another family member in the last couple of years, but it didn't say anything officially about his mom.
Yeah, his mom reported him missing like 2 weeks ago, I think they were saying. But yeah, it doesn't say anything about his mom being sick. It just everything says about his back pain.
It's just all there's so much I wouldn't say misinformation, but there's just we're in the early stages of really nailing this, and I don't know that they'll ever nail it down if he doesn't talk. I mean, Dan, like as an attorney, he has to talk to his attorney, right?
Right. He's got freedom to.
Now, has there ever been an instance where somebody has done something so horrific, and they have the goods on you, meaning they have what is believed to be the murder weapon? What is they got? You know, they got
the manifesto, the murder weapon in your fake ID,
right?
That you used.
So
yeah,
so,
like a clean cut, like open and shut slam book case,
right? And then the guy refuses to talk,
right?
I mean, has there ever been any of that?
Yeah, the guy doesn't have to say anything, and they can still convict him. He has to acknowledge he understands the charges. That's the only thing he has to do. When the judge says, "Do you understand the charges? And do you have any questions?" He has to answer that.
What if you don't answer it?
I don't know what happens then. You could.
What if this guy wants to have a press conference before he says anything to the cops?
He can.
Will the cops let him?
Maybe.
I feel like
through his attorney.
I feel like he wants to get a message out there.
I think he could, Dan. I think maybe they might let that through his attorney.
Through his attorney, yes.
Yes.
He'd be able to have a statement that his attorney would read.
He would be able to meet with his attorney
Give him a
and say,
statement.
"I would like you to say the following stuff to the press," because obviously they're not going to give him the opportunity to speak.
Right. I feel like that he's going to want everything out there as far as why he did it.
Yeah, I mean...
But what we still don't know about the guy that shot Trump. We still don't know about the guy that was hiding in the bushes of the golf course that shot Trump. We still don't know about all these kid shooters. Why do we know so much about this guy, and it doesn't make any sense?
Because he gave it all to him. They caught this guy red-handed. They caught... First of all...
The other people they have, they still caught him. They caught the guy in the bushes.
They caught the guy that tried to kill Trump dead on the roof.
Yeah, but he said exactly the same amount to the police that this guy said to the police. 0.
I understand.
But we have a lot of information on this guy and not a damn thing on the guy that tried to shoot Trump.
I think they're
4 months ago.
Honest to God, I think they're trying to keep all of that under wraps and not a public deal, and try this guy as privately as they can, or cut a plea deal with this guy, is because they just don't want that bad karma of shooting the president out there.
Do we know for sure whether or not this guy was going to testify against Pelosi and all these other things about corruption? Is that just a BS rumor?
It's a BS
That's
rumor.
another BS rumor. The only thing we really know is that what we've so far disseminated ourselves, and that he's a smart kid. This was very calculated. He had back issues that have been, and various claims that have been denied by United about his back. And he traveled from Atlanta to Manhattan, Midtown.
We don't know that he traveled from Atlanta. The bus came from Atlanta. We just know that he hopped on there at some point between Atlanta and New York.
True. We know that he got on the bus in Atlanta. He after several stops ended up in Manhattan. That's right. We don't know how he got to Atlanta. We don't know if that's where he was staying for a while. So there's so many things we don't know.
He could have picked up the bus in Virginia on the way to New York from Atlanta. They do make stops along the way. The bus originated in Atlanta. They don't know that he boarded in Atlanta.
Have you been on a long bus ride before?
No.
The longest bus ride I took was from Ocean City to New York, and it was like 4 hours, and it was torture.
I can't imagine.
I would rather have my testicles removed one at a time with a dirty butter knife.
With a dull butter knife.
Yeah, with a dirty dull butter knife than get on another bus again.
Because
and then on the way back, my Polo cologne, the whole entire bottle was in the bottom of my duffel bag, and when they put it down, it broke. So the entire bus smelled like Polo. I can't smell that stuff without throwing up now. It was torture.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing, only I don't want to say anything bad or I mean, I don't want to, but only the drug, like just the worst of America, the worst of society travels by bus.
Yes, it's a horrible way to travel.
On the Greyhound.
Oh yeah,
Oh my God,
that's Not a lot of good people. They're usually traveling from. They're traveling. They're
the people that got kicked off the train are the ones on the bus.
You remember in Tampa the last couple of years there was I don't know if it was a homeless guy or what, but like one of the Heart bus drivers got his head chopped off.
What?
In Tampa. Do you remember that?
No.
Hold on. I don't know if it was his head chopped off, but he definitely got attacked by a guy who was on the Heart bus. Let me try and find it.
So anyway, the College Bowl playoff system, they've established the first round college football playoff first round. Number 10 Indiana at number 7 Notre Dame. The battle of Indiana. That's the December 20th at 8 p.m. Number 11 SMU at Penn State. That's on the 21st. Number 12 Clemson at Texas. Oh, that's going to be a good game.
That is.
So the story in question, really quick. Sorry, I found it. It's from 2019. There was a Heart driver who had his throat slit while driving down Nebraska.
Now, a Heart driver is far. That's just the local transit system of Tampa.
Well, that's our public transit system, buddy. All these people showing out
that's different
thousands of dollars a year to live in downtown.
I
have no other choice.
What I'm saying is that's way different than the going across country Greyhound system.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I was just reinforcing the stereotype that not good people take the bus.
Hold on. Like 9 out of 10. Okay, as far as 10 being the worst part of society, 9s take Greyhounds, 10s take the local busing system.
Why are you better than people who ride a bus? What was that airline that you just flew that racially profiled? Frontier, yeah.
Oh, no, not Frontier. What did you fly?
Allegiant. It's the Greyhound of the skies.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Number 9, Tennessee at 8, Ohio State. And then, Lummy, we get into the bowls.
Oh, yeah, the
Fiesta
bowl games.
Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl will be number 3, Boise State, taking on the SMU Penn State winner. The Peach Bowl, number 4, Arizona State, taking on the Clemson Texas winner. And I think that's going to be a blowout. Arizona State, I don't think, has any business being the 4th-seeded team. The Rose Bowl, number 1, Oregon versus the Tennessee-Ohio State winner. Sugar Bowl, that's going to be a good game. Number 2, Georgia taking on the Indiana-Notre Dame winner. And now then the college football semifinals, Orange Bowl, which I'm assuming is in Miami.
Yes.
And the Cotton Bowl.
Texas.
In Texas. And then the college football national championship, where's that at? Is that going to be in Arizona like it usually is, or is it going to be?
It might be New Orleans this year.
Oh, I would probably have it at the SoFi. I'd have it in Vegas or L.A. Those two premier,
Well, no, it's normally at one of it's going to be like the Sugar.
Yeah, it's
Fiesta. I mean, one of the bigger.
You know what? It's got to be. Well, no, because Fiesta is here.
They rotated though, Bubba.
I know, but look, you've already got a Fiesta and a Sugar Bowl. You can't have a Sugar Bowl.
Is it Rose Bowl?
It's going to be it's in Houston this year.
Which is the Nothing Bowl.
Houston.
It's the Houston Bowl. It's the Alamo Bowl.
I don't know what.
I believe that.
Is it just a national championship game?
It's a national championship.
I just think it's the national championship game.
So they'll play all the other they'll play all the traditional bowl games, and then the final one won't be like how they would rotate before.
Oh, Jay's here. I can smell the high karate.
Hey, yeah.
Hi, Jay. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. That's just the national championship game. They're not going to make it a bowl. It's not a wonder somebody hasn't tried to come in there and try to private label that, right?
I was going to say it's going to be the Tostitos national championship game or something.
It should be. I don't. You know what? I haven't.
It used to be Tostitos Fiesta every year, man.
I thought it was Dr. Pepper.
Is it?
Oh, maybe it is.
I thought Dr. Pepper was the sugar.
It's a national championship presented by AT&T.
Oh, okay. And that's in Houston?
Yeah, next year is in Atlanta.
Then here's the bowls, the other bowls. So these are the teams that didn't make the playoffs.
I miss the traditional bowl games, man. You had your January 1st games. It wasn't like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. The national championship was like the day after that. Now it's fine the way it is. I mean, I like getting 12 teams in the playoffs, but I miss the January 1st feeling of waking up and just having real games that meant something, on all day.
But it didn't mean anything though, because.
But they did to the teams. I mean,
there wasn't as many bowls back then. There wasn't as many fluffy bowls. Like now, you're gonna get bowls.
My God, there's so many bowls. Right. I don't even have the energy to go through them all.
I mean, but now it matters in the sense that there's a playoff, there's a champion. It's not gonna be argued.
No. But I'm talking about.
You don't have to worry about the AP did this, but the UPI did this.
But I'm talking about outside of the 12.
Right.
Outside of the 12, the other bowls, the cricket. the
PapaJohn.com Bowl.
Salute to Veterans Bowl, the Scooters Coffee Fiasco Bowl,
the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg Bowl,
the Boca Raton Bowl, the
Yeah.
LA Bowl, the New Orleans Bowl, the Staff DNA Cure Bowl.
I mean, if you have enough money to sponsor it, they will make it a bowl game.
The Diaco, I mean, one of the games in Tampa should be the Diaco Law Bowl. Or just the Diaco Bowl. Put all your brands together. You know what I'm saying? The Diaco Bowl. Hawaii Bowl, Game Above Sports Bowl, Rate Bowl, 68 Ventures Bowl.
See, they didn't have those back then.
Birmingham Bowl, Lockheed Martin Bowl.
When he was saying it's true, though, is it's at that point, the littler schools, they were just happy to get to a bowl game. So if they got to the Citrus Bowl, they didn't care whether it was a national championship game or not. They were just happy to make it to the Citrus Bowl, fly to Orlando, have a big deal, big week. It was a cool thing for littler schools.
It
still is now.
It was just very traditional. You know, it was just very traditional as far as like, you know, the Rose Bowl would be what the Pac-10 winner and, you know, the Big Ten winner would go at it. And the Sugar Bowl was what the SEC winner and something else. Then at somewhere where they would play the national championship. I like I said, I'm fine with where it's evolved to. I miss those days
The
where
Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
The Gold Bowling Military Bowl. the Radens Technology Independence Bowl. The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
What?
Oh, that's going to get protested.
The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
What does
Missouri.
Trans Perfect mean?
I don't know. Dan, you're the smartest guy in the room.
I don't buy shirts from there. I just
The
don't know
Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
I know what that one's about.
The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. The Kinder's Texas Bowl.
By the way, Trans Perfect is it's a translation. They made
translation
software.
app kind of thing.
They should think of a
like
new
if
name.
you go to they should. Let me before I go to words. Let's check.
Diaco Jr.
No, let's check Diaco Jr. here. Little Dan. Let's check Little Danny. What is it? How do you say?
Luigi
Mangione.
You know what's funny?
Mangione.
I said he looked like a Diaco when I saw his face. When he pulled his
Looks like
mask
Nick's
down,
clone.
He looks like a younger, could have been Danny or me or any of us at that age. My father, this kid's, when he was in that mask, I was like, somebody knows him. He's one of 30 grandchildren of this family. This Mangione family.
Yes.
Such a big family in the Baltimore area.
300.9 the last time before I refreshed. Let's see where it's. I almost feel like Jerry Lewis and it's a telethon.
Dan's one denial
Hold
away
on
from
here.
this.
Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Picked up another 3,000
Jeez.
just on people stumbling upon it or, organically. Who was the guy that was found not guilty?
Danny Petty.
Danny Petty. Did you see what the head of the Black Lives Matter said?
I
Yeah.
got a lot of them.
We'll get into that next.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Trump says peacefully and patriotically go to this, and they say those words are frightening, and what this guy said is legitimate threats. Yeah. You're not safe on the streets. How you doing, Mommy? Great, Jay. How are you doing? Good. My son told me about the conversation that Krista and Ashley had about Jesuit and how he jumped in.
When Dan jumped in on that.
It was so funny. He gave a Tim Waltz comment. But the truth is, for a kid like yours, where you want him to grow up to be a man, send him to church, to Jesuit. Don't send him to Burger. If you want him to come up with some nose piercings and blue hair, send him to
That's what Dan said.
Yeah.
Become a Buccaneer.
He could be Bucko Bruce.
Oh, yeah. Remember, they were Bucko Bruce.
I do.
Bucko Bruce.
Knowing that you love it.
Seth, have you ever seen a halftime show where it's mascots versus like midgets, and they have the little football players play the mascots?
Where would that happen?
They did it at the Tampa Stadium this weekend, and they had like Bucko Bruce and Dr. Doom and Rocky the Bull and all these guys, the people from the Rays, everybody came out.
Did they race little people?
They're playing football against midgets, like little kids in 4 helmets, and so the kids
Are they kids or are they little?
Little kids, and the mascots are knocking them over and stiff arming them, and it's like the funniest shit you've ever seen in your life. This weekend they had the best halftime show I've ever seen. And so, it's got to be on YouTube.
I wonder if the kids knew it was coming.
They did, because Dr. Doom single-handedly like comes through and stiff arms a little kid, throws he like horse collars a kid. It's fucking hilarious. I've never seen it before.
15 years in prison if convicted in the 2023 death of Jordan Neely. CB Cotton is live.
I think you find it a little funny, a little disturbing.
Here's one.
Good morning. Well, before jurors begin deliberating the state.
How funny was the mascot versus the midget game?
Were you very entertained by that?
I'm trying to. He's never seen it before. I never had either. It's fucking hilarious.
Captain Fear did like a dive into the end zone after he took like 3 little kids.
He did a Heisman to a couple kids. He face raped them, and then he dives into the stadium. Oh man, I can't believe it's not on video. It was the best halftime show I've ever seen, Bobby.
Really? How much you liked it?
I just thought it was funny. Because Dr. Doom, or whatever his name was,
Captain Fear.
Captain Fear was not going to be denied.
No, he wasn't.
And he was going to knock over some 10-year-olds to get there.
To de-escalate the situation and acted to protect others. They offered up other ways Neely could have died.
That's justice right there, Bubba.
Expert witness. And you can see Penny right there on your screen now arriving. So that hired expert witness, Dr. Satish Chandru, testified that combined factors led to Neely's death. Chandru said Neely's blood condition, synthetic marijuana use, schizophrenia, along with the exertion during the struggle with
Any of you
Penny,
guys in chat
killed
see any of the
Neely.
mascots
Jurors have
versus
also
the
heard
midget
several
ball players
eyewitnesses
halftime
describe
shows?
how they felt
So
about Penny stepping in.
Did you think it was hilarious?
Oh, they're getting fucked up.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It's like Peyton Manning throwing something in the kid's head and stuff. It's like, it's hilarious. Oh, those kids are big. These were 12-year-olds. My big kids are like, oh my God, the little kids.
Protesters were here outside the courthouse yelling subway
So funny. We were high-fiving.
Is that, did you find it?
Paul Morrow, Fox's distributor, and former NYPD Inspector Dan Porter, former.
I never want to play again.
I would never have my kid do it.
So you got it?
What's that, buddy?
You sent it or did you get it?
You have the Buccaneer one? Oh, send them the Buccaneer.
I have the Rams one I'm watching. A kid just got fucking stiff armed.
I got the.
Going from this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's good.
Lightning Bug was out there.
So that's witness testimony of
Uncle Bruce got smoked, and then Captain Fear came in and stole the show.
Penny was never arrested at this moment after they do the initial investigation.
That's right. So the police show up. According to their testimony, Neely's heart is still beating. They gather all.
Was there defending Penny today just to catch people guilty?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Clem Kush today, 10:35, with topics.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
I'm trying to.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing
conspiracy
because I'm in a good mood. Is that okay?
Sure.
Not laughing at your death, like the one girl was.
Whoa.
Did you see that, Jay, where that one bitch was laughing and giggling at the CEO of United Healthcare's death? She was actually laughing at it.
I did. It's grotesque. There were 58,000 likes of the original story within like 24 hours last week. It's ridiculous that people would actually think that murder's okay under any circumstance. It's gross.
Our local police here in Altoona acted swiftly
I want to say a special thanks to all.
I don't need.
These guys all get on the screen. Let me show you how good my people did. It's just all like a circle jerk.
Right. Here is what.
Meanwhile, it was just a McDonald's employee that probably if nobody saw
Who's
it.
probably going to get
Superior
screwed
didn't
out.
do crap.
Who's probably going to get screwed out of the Crime Stopper gimmick.
Exactly. You know they never get the 50
because they don't call Crime Stoppers first.
Here is Daniel Penny.
Was this a celebration?
Celebration
Yes.
of the verdict being not guilty yesterday.
How you feeling? Great. Yeah. He's feeling good.
This guy was facing, 4 years in prison?
15 and then 4 after they dismissed the first charge.
What's up? Come together.
He's a kid. He's 26
How's it going?
years
How's it
old.
feel?
Feels great.
He's
He's
a
finally got
child.
the justice he's deserved.
Did you think it was going to happen?
He needs to start an MMA school immediately in New York.
Sorry? No, we think that this should have happened probably on day one, but the point thing is it happened.
Now, Jay, let me ask you a question.
This guy knows he's getting all his money too because the public funded this guy's defense fund.
Well, I was getting ready to say-
GoFundMe, so he's happy as hell.
But also, this makes him a superstar, Seth.
Yeah.
What I was going to say
Winning this
though
case makes him superstar.
is with regards to legal fees. You know, if a guy didn't have his legal fees paid from a GoFundMe or something like that, and you won convincingly, would the state be responsible for your legal fees?
It depends on the state and the circumstances, but there are definitely circumstances where you can get your attorney's fees and costs if you win a trial.
Do you know
sure.
Do you know one of the most famous ones? And he's a colleague of ours. He's represented me before.
I think so. The one with the Eisenbergs?
Yep. Todd Foster is the first attorney to ever get it's called the Hyde, either the Hyde Amendment or the Hyde Act.
I think it's the Hyde Act.
It's where if the government overreaches and goes crazy, you can petition the court to pay the federally. This is the federal side of things.
This was a state action, though. So
right. I don't know if the state has the same.
Well, they were looking at civil rights violations for Penny.
And
because
they
think
do
that
that.
he was unjustifiably targeted in the prosecution, that the state attorney Bragg should get in trouble. This is a series of very, very, very questionable choices that he's made on who to prosecute.
Well, he wasn't arrested at the scene.
No,
because the witnesses said, and by the way, the two witnesses that were called upon the most were two African Americans, an African American woman and an African American man, who both said this guy that was killed was erratic, was scaring everybody,
was threatening people,
and they, very much heralded and was very appreciative of Daniel Penny saving them. And this came from two African American people. Those were the two witnesses that Daniel Penny people called, and there were two people that the police questioned. And so there wasn't an arrest made at the scene of the crime because the police determined that there was no crime.
And they investigated him at the time. He waived his right to an attorney. He freely spoke to them. So even though he didn't testify, they had 15 minutes of unfiltered Daniel Penny to listen to when he didn't even know that this gentleman had died. And he was just talking, I didn't mean to hurt him. I was just trying to restrain him. The people, he literally did everything right when you talk about trying to exert justifiable force for people. In Florida, if this had happened, you probably could have shot the guy because you're allowed to use justifiable force, which is force that is equal to the force being used against you or whoever's with you. So in Florida, if someone's beating me up with a knife, I can use a knife back. If I see someone using a knife against Dan, I can use a knife back.
Can you shoot him?
Yes. If you see someone using deadly force, you can use deadly force to defend yourself or others under the correct circumstances in the state of Florida. And the Castle Doctrine has been expanded to your car, to your business. So if this had happened in Florida, the guy would have never been charged.
Much like our attorney friend.
Yes,
100%.
Who still, by the way, is having health issues from saving that woman.
Chuck,
a fellow attorney of Jay and Dan's, friend of both. was walking with his son home from a Hyde Park eatery in a very, very upscale, affluent, non-crime ridden, nice
Hyde Park district,
nice area of Tampa that has no problems with crime. And there was a woman that was being sexually.
She was being beaten.
She was just being physically beaten down.
Was being physically beaten down by this homeless man, and this Chuck, the good guy, a fellow attorney of the boys, had a concealed carry license and killed the guy.
No, he actually pulled the gun. You got a good memory, sort of, on this one. That's what he could have done. But what he did was...
Sorry. Maybe I was wishful thinking what he should have done.
It was. You're thinking about earlier today, people you'd like to murder.
Yeah.
So he comes up. He's walking with his family after dinner, and he hears a woman screaming, and he sees a big, giant guy chasing her. And so he runs over, and by the time he gets there, the guy is basically got her on her back, and he's wailing on her face. And so he pulls out his concealed carry, and he says, "Hey, stop it." And what Danny and I asked, I said, how did this go wrong? He wasn't prepared to do anything after that. So when he said, "Hey, stop it," the guy got up and ran at him. And someone can close 10 feet or 20 feet in like a couple of seconds. So he had no chance. By the time the guy hit him, he shot up in the air, hit a neighbor's soffit of the roof. He got his head slammed to the ground. He still got concussion injuries from it, but the guy ended up running away, and the cops found him down the street. And so the point is, he could have shot him in Florida when he sees somebody beating the hell out of a woman.
His gun was returned.
And his gun was returned. He was literally heralded by the sheriff's office and giving awards because of what he did to try to save his community.
Because he, at the least amount, got the bad guy off the girl.
He saved her life.
Right.
She is indebted to him. You should see what her face looks like. He got one punch, and then he hit his head on the cement, and a year later, he's still got concussion syndrome. She was a 25-year-old female.
I wish he would have connected.
And if anyone's looking in the screen, this guy was doing this. He was wailing on her like a big brother with someone's face.
But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Jay. Had he connected, he would have been justified, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Had he connected?
That's what the police told him.
That's what the police told him, exactly.
Had
under
you
that
connected?
scenario. Yep.
Right.
Former District Attorney, Brooklyn District Attorney Imran Ansari, who has been covering this. Imran, want to get your take on some of the things that we just heard.
Boy, those New York news anchors. This is Fox 5 on New York. They are hot.
Fox figured it out, didn't
they?
Jordan's father speak about, and Eric Garner's mother speak about, who
what's that?
Even better from the pan out shot.
Right.
Experienced a similar situation, saying that this was rigged, that it was unjust. However, for the prosecution, they needed to demonstrate that Neely's chokehold was the cause of that Jordan's chokehold was the cause of Neely's death. Where did they fail in that?
Yeah, but here's the deal. So what if it was?
But you know what the problem is, Bubba? Their own medical examiner gave the opinion prior to the toxicology coming back, which is like, you cannot do that.
No, you can't. I mean, because you have a threshold of death based on what you got in your system. I mean, if you got a bunch of stuff in your system, you're going to die easier than if you're just stone cold sober.
Can I ask a dumb question about this? And I don't know the answer to this. After he was holding him down and restraining him, he eventually did let go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. At that point, was the kid still alive?
He was alive.
breathing.
100%. He was
so then
still
why
alive.
would you even bring this up?
Because it's New York. Really, it's New York.
So and then the defense's
theory
was
he's
that,
white, and it was against a black guy.
Correct.
And it's New York.
Correct.
I mean, I hate to try to act like I'm a know-it-all, but that's the bottom barrel.
But then, Seth brought up the point, which I think he was at Kratom, Seth? Something I think he was.
Oh, he was on Spice K2.
He was on K2. He was on a bunch of medication or a bunch of illegal illicit drugs that
synthetic marijuana.
Yeah, that the defendant's medical examiner said absolutely contributed to his death. If he's breathing when the chokehold's over and he's got these other toxic elements in his system, you must consider those.
I feel horrible for the guy having to go through. I mean, listen, I've gone
He's
through
got
trial.
a civil case coming now.
Oh.
He's got to defend a civil case from this dad who probably had no relationship
right.
with his schizophrenic son who'd been arrested
Sometimes when you
dozens of times in the past 6 years.
Sometimes when you win the criminal, you got the civil to worry about, don't you, buddy?
You sure do. I hope they do a GoFund for that.
News anchors, Instagram.
Can
Well,
I ask
I think
a weird
that
question,
the,
though, Bubba,
I mean,
real
the
quick?
prosecution.
Did anyone notice there's no where was Daniel Penny's family?
I think they're all in Australia
Is
or
that
New
what it
Zealand.
is?
Yeah, he's not from here.
Well, he's a Marine.
Yes, he is.
Clearly didn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt.
A U.S.
as to the
Marine
top.
or is he an Australian Marine?
A United States Marine.
With
Marine
that
Corps.
deep accent?
Dan. Okay. Sorry, Bubba.
Settle down, Dan. What does
I
it
thought he
matter?
was- I thought he was from another country. I didn't think he was American.
Have you ever heard the word
Hey,
Australian?
hey,
In the last year and a half, have you heard the word Australian at the same sentence as
Distracting
Daniel
Dan.
Penny?
He's not from Australia.
I'll count the manslaughter.
Who cares?
I
Let's
know.
move on. God damn. Distracting Dan.
Charge that was dismissed. So that was left.
Let's peel this onion back so it doesn't even matter anymore.
The jury was left with the criminally negligent homicide case, and yeah, they had to show the causation as one factor, that chokehold was the actual proximate cause, the cause of Jordan Neely's death. Defense went on a different
But here's the deal. So what that it was? It wasn't. He was breathing after he got done choking a guy out, and after the cops had come to arrest him, and after the people at the scene had said, 2 African American, by the way, and more, but there was a man and a woman African American that they was in the news and they used a lot, and there was a lot of sound clips of. But after the police got there, talked to the witnesses, they determined that Daniel Penny didn't do anything wrong, and the bad guy was still breathing and succumbed to probably the stuff that he had in his system as to what he died. But what if he did die from the chokehold in itself? He was defending against an erratic person that people were scared of, right? I mean, I know that they say that he didn't die from the chokehold, but even if he had, I still think that that he's innocent.
Well, it's justifiable homicide.
Track with that, and they were arguing that there were other factors involved that led to the death, not necessarily the chokehold that the prosecution was going on, but also with this charge, the criminally negligent homicide charge, they had to find that the actions by Daniel Penny were unreasonable. They were not justified. So that justification, self-defense or defense of others, affirmative defense by the defense that was given to the jury was also a factor here. So what we are seeing is a lesser charge. They had to find that he was negligent and criminally negligent. They had to find that the chokehold was the actual cause of death. And they also had to find that he wasn't justified in doing so. So it was a tragic loss of life. And I feel for the family of Jordan Neely. And, no life that is lost like this is something to be celebrated. But the jury spoke. That's what we see here. The jury had the case. They deliberated. They were hung on the top count. And they rendered their verdict. And, of course, the sympathy goes to Jordan Neely's family. But we saw the justice system play out here. And whenever there is a verdict in a case like this where the city is divided, and you saw that the jury was even divided, but they came together on this count, it's going to cause that raw emotion. But as I was saying earlier, I think this case is really going to have us as New Yorkers focus in on the issues that we deal with every day as we commute around the city and as we see people who need help, need mental health treatment, and may not be getting that through the infrastructure that we have here.
Yeah.
So there's the legal aspects, but the larger societal aspects that we see from this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, I love that. The larger societal access.
See those issues day in and day out here as New Yorkers.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, people are now have a little bit more comfort knowing that if there is something really bad happening on a subway and you intervene.
Hopefully Rob Kahn is sitting beside you.
But if they had found him guilty, Bubba,
oh my God, it'd been
then
horrible.
everyone would be afraid to do anything, and you're just going to sit there and take it because they're not going to have a policeman in every single cab of every subway.
And even this case in itself, even though he was found not guilty, even this case in itself of him having to go through what he did, I mean, a lot of people be like, you know what? I don't want to get involved because I don't want to be on trial.
But you want a deterrent. You want a deterrent.
I know that.
One of the things like having constitutional carry is now you don't know if someone's got a gun or not, so you're not going to mess with people. Go out of your way to mess with people in Florida.
I gotta tell you, I mean, there's been times when I've been driving on the highway and I've seen two cars collide or scrape each other or something like that, and they both pull over, and I saw it all, and I should, as a good citizen, pull over and offer my eyewitness account to the Florida Highway Patrol. And then there's a part of me that says, I don't want to even deal with it. I don't want to sit here and wait 30 minutes for the cop to come, give him my ID, tell him where, give him my because I did it one time back in, like, I don't know, maybe 2003, 2004. I was driving across the Howard Franklin, and I saw the wreck happen right in front of my eyes. This little like Honda literally wasn't anticipating the semi. Must have not even really the semi. I don't even know if the guy was, but he literally just made a quick right-hand turn into a semi, and the semi's back tires ran over the guy's hood, and then the guy flipped, like 2 times, and so I pulled over, and told the cop, everybody was okay, but I pulled over and told the FHP what I'd seen. Next thing you know, man, they're wearing me out for depositions, and they want me to show up to court and I'm like, you know what? I wish I wouldn't have even gotten involved now.
And then I'm going to take your depo and try to question your ability to see and hear and observe what you say you see, heard, and observed.
Right.
Because that's my job, is to dispute everything that you say as a witness against my client. It's a brutal place to be.
If you're repping one of those clients, or the insurance company or whoever you're repping, Jay, you're going to try to pick me apart. Oh. And I'm just here trying to do the right. I
want your cell phone. Were you on the phone? Who were you talking to? Were you texting anybody? Where were you looking? Where were you coming from? Where were you going? How fast were you going? What kind of view did you have? Were you obstructed view? Was it not an obstructed view? Just give me 4 seconds.
All that.
And I'm going to blow you apart.
You are. And I'm going to be like, what in the hell? This is not anything I was part of. I just was trying to be a good citizen and offer an opinion or an eyewitness account, because the cops really do rely on that sometimes, because, the one party A says I didn't do it and party B says I didn't do it, when inevitably one of them did it. And so that a lot of times they like to have an eyewitness account. I find myself not wanting to get involved because I don't want J.D. Acco questioning me for 2 hours one day, because that's how it goes. So, I
had literally a witness who was inside of a receiving bay when my client was at the door of the receiving bay, and an errant vehicle, meaning a runaway vehicle, hits my client, kills her, pushes her through the door, and the guy that's inside the door is the deposition of the person I took. And so I have the video of this guy walking up to the door, opening it up, my client walking to the door, and then them both hearing a screeching tire, looking backwards, and then the next moment, my client's gone. And then he appears again. And so this poor guy had 2 hours of witnessing all this, and I took his testimony very tactfully, but it took 3.5 hours. And I'm sure it was not fun for him to relive every moment of witnessing someone die with a grotesque head injury, bleeding out on the floor. And that's what the deposition in a real case looks like.
Yeah.
Not easy.
Nothing I want to be part of if I don't have to be.
And he just happened to be the witness.
I asked you this before, but maybe you could explain again for people just tuning in to this.
Listen to this. Kenny Garner on chat says, I had it happen to me when I saw a guy running the red light and hit a school bus. Morgan & Morgan wore me out, but I didn't want to get involved to start with, and they never offered money or anything. They just wanted so Morgan & Morgan, this guy was a witness.
They give you $15 is what the daily per diem is for a non-professional
for them to wear
witness.
you out and call you everything else but whatever.
Yep. Verdict right now.
And like Jay said, were you texting? Let me see your phone records. Were you there?
Talked about the jurors saying we're not going to take manslaughter. We're going to be hung on that issue. But coming back to that second count, that criminally negligent homicide, what was it that changed for some of these jurors that possibly said maybe guilty on manslaughter, but we're going to say no for count 2?
Yeah, we don't know the makeup of the jury in terms of who can decide, or we're going for acquittal or for guilt on the manslaughter count. There could have been more people leaning towards guilt. There could have been more people leaning towards an acquittal. But I think we can discern or infer from the verdict, and a pretty quick verdict on the criminally negligent homicide charge this morning, that there was probably a majority that were going for acquittal at this time, because you didn't have a long deliberation.
And by the way, it had to be unanimous, right? They couldn't. The first one was hung because they could not come to
a unanimous decision.
But so that's why it went to count 2, and the reason why, and you won't know what the vote was, but when they return it not guilty, that means they all had to agree at one time or another before they sent it back to the judge.
100% correct. And in this case, what should have happened under New York law is when they were hung on the first charge, they should never have been allowed to go to the second charge. And so this prosecutor, Alvin Bragg, when they were hung, he voluntarily dismissed that charge, and so the court agreed to voluntarily dismiss it, and now he can't bring that charge back. Double jeopardy's applied. So
this count, you clearly saw the jury come together in some sort of consensus pretty early on this Monday morning.
So, I mean, but now, does the family of the deceased have the civil aspect?
Sure.
Yeah, they can sue.
But it's based upon, in Florida, what's your relationship with the person? And so, oftentimes in Florida or in any state, you have a decedent who had estranged family, that didn't see him, didn't talk to him, had no relationship with him. And
I sent you an article.
The value of that case is worth less than, say, the value of Dan and Dad.
Showing that they're suing.
Oh, so it has a lot to do with maybe the value of your life?
The nature of your relationship with the person who's dead. So if you haven't spoken to your son in 20 years because he's a schizophrenic who's been in and out of jail, then the value of your case is a little different than my wife if her son dies.
Right. Is this it right here? Is it just
I'm not sure about the news story. I just
Jordan Neely's father declares system is rigged after Daniel Penny's acquittal. The family of Jordan Neely is moving forward with a civil lawsuit against Daniel Penny after the Marine. See, this poor guy.
I just IM'd you the dad talking. I mean, I just feel like if the dad was taking care of his son and not letting him, be mentally ill on the subway, threatening to kill people on Spice, I feel like maybe that would have helped things out instead of blaming the system.
I think maybe we have a tense of lack of parenting here. Right?
Even when your kid's 30, man. I mean, geez.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now?
Maybe you should be a better father.
That's measured. He's at least being measured.
Wait till the BLM guy comes and talks.
I got that.
I had enough of this. The system is rigged.
You know what I'd ask him, Bubba?
Come on, people.
Was the system rigged the other 25 times that he got off?
Oh, because he's been a habitual.
In and out of jail in New York over 24 times, I believe.
24, I think.
How bad did that hurt your feelings? Did you go see him in jail that day?
How many press conferences you have after all those charges, right?
When was the last time you had a text interaction with him? When's the last time you had dinner with him? When's the last time you went somewhere with him and did anything with him?
Let's do something about this.
Let's do something about it. Too often. We have Eric Garner's mother here.
Let's do something. What are you insinuating there, buddy?
Do you think that do you think it's hard for a parent to take responsibility?
Yeah.
For even when your son's
a bad guy?
Well, even in his 30s or something like that. I still feel like I would be. I still feel like if something happened, and Sam did something when she was an adult, I would still feel responsible.
Yeah, I think you still defend them, though. You probably take that tact and say, I can't believe my son did this, but I love him to death, and I'm going to do everything I can to try to help him.
Jeffrey Dahmer's dad took responsibility.
Right.
He felt badly.
100%.
Well, they're also saying that he wasn't the same after his mom was murdered by her boyfriend, and he had to testify when he was 18.
Again, that's not society's problem.
I understand
that's family issues.
Yeah, I understand that's mental illness, then his dad should have known that maybe they should have been together when they rode the subway. So his son didn't smoke spice and then threaten to kill people.
Here is the head of the Black Lives Matter movement in New York. This is what he's calling for. This is
yelling fire in the theater, in my humble opinion.
We need some black vigilantes.
Right? What's that?
Uh-oh. We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
Now, would that be...
Would Batman count?
There's got to be some type of law.
There is.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same?
What?
When they attempt to oppress us.
Right.
I'm tired. We need some black vigilantes.
We need somebody to make a rap song out of that.
Oh, man.
We need some black.
Snoop Dogg just did a rap song to Tom Petty's Last Dance for Mary Jane.
What more proof do you need that New York sucks?
We need some.
Yeah.
Jeez, every day, man.
You're exactly right. Who would want to live in this? Who would want to ever even have this in your own backyard?
I mean, you got the CEO getting killed on the other side of town. He needs a black vigilante. I'm just trying to get to my job so I can go home to my apartment that is 40 square feet.
It's 40. It's
I'm paying for $3,500 a month for
$7,000 a month.
44 square feet for $8,000 a month.
Yeah, wondering what disease I just picked up on the subway.
Seth, you could never live in New York.
No, I hate, dude. I went once. I don't like it.
I used to have to go every 8 weeks and spend a week when we were under contract with SiriusXM, and we stayed in the Westin Hotel, and right outside my window was the big Times Square Jumbotron, and we had 2 blocks to the Avenue Americas that we had to and we were in the safest, coolest,
best part of New York.
Restaurants everywhere, safe, and I still hated it.
Yeah, that area is not safe right now.
No.
Times Square is not safe right now.
We need some black vigilante. We need some.
I need this as a button bar.
We need some black vigilantes.
He's being loud.
People want to jump up and choke us.
Yeah, we do. When somebody, not just African Americans, but anybody, is acting erratic and scaring people and threatening people, yes. Those people need to have their asses kicked.
This guy's being a little erratic and threatening.
And kill us for being loud.
I'm loud.
How about we do the same?
What?
When they attempt to oppress us.
Right.
I'm tired. We need some black.
I didn't get any good night's sleep. I'm tired too. We're all tired.
So are you calling for vigilantes?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not calling for nothing.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm calling for Clem Kush at 10:35.
Oh, all right, perfect.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
We need Jewish vigilantes. I'm here. But I won't pass the drug test because I do. Huffers, I huff. Keyboard cleaner. And I smoke.
Duster. Love dusters.
I smoke a duster and I smoke cloves. Oh, man.
Kabuki Jones. Big E 7375. What's up, Pudo Ball?
Believe that it's old truth.
You got a hearing today?
He's not in here.
Yep. I do.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I'm being trumped up on some RICO charges.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
I heard you took a truck down with Beckett blasters.
I and a few other things. I've done some tax evasions. I've done some breaking and enterings. And I've done some crypto scams.
And some weed dealing.
Oh, well, the weed dealing, I can't believe you're subduing my story.
Yeah, I think
for helping a fellow member of the Army.
I think that you would.
Oh, I've been talking about weed on the air since I was 19. Ain't nobody ever come and get me. Even that shit was illegal, bro. I was like, come and get that shit, man.
Bro, you're just gonna have to fuck it.
I was on a flamethrower, 11,500 watts.
Bro.
They even told Fisher one day, they're like, he talks about weed a lot. He's gonna have to watch out.
What? The cops coming for you or something?
It was a vague threat from a cop. But I kept on fighting the good fight, Lummy, and look where we are now, baby. It's a medicine.
That's right. Keep fighting that fight.
I did. I enjoyed everybody else at the radio station who smoked weed that acted like they didn't, and I said, I'm going to be me.
Yeah, I'm just going to go by the
You should be on Morgan's payroll, fighting the fight.
Boy, he had some really stiff words to say about Kamala, didn't he? Oof. Honest assessment, for sure.
Shut the fuck up, Big Pete or Pizza Lab. I mean, good lord. Putting LOL at the end of stupid shit does not make it funny.
Yeah, I'll put it on the bag here. Give me the room right there. As far as it goes, first. Can I get anything?
This is fucking sad, man.
Yeah, I'll put it all in the bag here. So it'll all be in your property, okay? Okay, thank you. Yep. All right, sir.
What up, Longwood?
What's up, Tony Peters? AP. Royal Oak Offshore.
Make New York's 2 states. Boy, those sloppy Yankee fans that were fucking railing against Juan Soto was really a disturbance to fucking mankind.
Redneck.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Clem Kush today. 10:35. You'll be able to watch it if you're a member of our YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel. At least subscribe. And that gets you subscribe and get a notification. So that's free. And then if you'd like to join, that's $4.99 a month. And then that means you can visualize a lot of our members-only stuff. Oh, Jay, you got your regular? Is that another jacket I need to convert?
No, but I can't be too flashy today. It's one of those days.
Oh. Well, I mean, I got some buttons to show you.
Yeah.
Between the next break.
I've been looking a lot on television and seeing if I see any men with them on. I see a lot of women with them on.
where they wear those like double-breasted jackets and they have the buttons along the edges. But I'm having a difficult time finding any men on television wearing any gold buttons right now.
No,
you're not looking in the right spot.
Not
Jay.
looking in the right spots.
QVC.
Yeah.
Do you have buttons?
Selling buttons?
Now hold on.
A guy
Do
selling
you
buttons on
regret the
QVC?
buttons that I put on?
Have I worn them? I have.
No. Do you regret the buttons that we switched out?
No, I just every suit can't be a fancy suit.
Yes, it can be.
No, not me.
But there's
I have to wear my
certain
suit.
levels of fanciness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get nothing looks worse than just that standard button.
Tell Dion that.
No, Dion's the one that turned me on to the button games.
Last time we looked at Dion on television, he had regular old buttons.
Hold on, let me just Google Dion in
gold buttons.
Dion wearing a suit, and just Google me that and see what, or Bing at me.
First
I guess.
of all, I love what you gave me. I wore it. I will wear it, and there's absolutely a place in my wardrobe to have a gold button suit. So I just can't have every suit gold buttoned.
I know. Not everyone's going to be gold button. I got other combinations, buddy.
Seth, help me.
No.
I mean, the first video that came up was "Must Be the Money Man," and he's got gold buttons everywhere.
Let me see.
Let me just let me send it
I
to
sent
me.
it to you.
All right, hold on now.
Lummy's your button hype man.
Hold
Bubba.
on here. Dion never. Hold on here. Never ever. Hold on.
Look right there.
This is from 1997.
Hold on.
Holy hell!
Come on, guys.
Here.
He's got an Atlanta jersey.
Hold on. By the way, Lummy, I don't want to play the music part of it because I'll get a copyright strike.
Look at that with
Yeah, look at
pleats
that.
in his pants.
Flashy, man.
No collar.
All custom buttons.
All custom buttons. Hold on. Look at that. Custom buttons.
Those are regular old buttons.
No, those are custom.
No, they're not.
Custom.
Those are plastic buttons.
Hold on here. Custom buttons right here. Hold on.
We're in a music video.
I'm
not
Bubba, I
in
just
court.
sent you-
at the
I
13th
sent-
Nobody
Judicial
breaks down
Circuit.
buttons from 1994 music
Bubba, I
videos like
just
Sponge.
sent you a suit, and he has
Look
custom
right,
buttons
Seth.
on it. He's walking around.
Here we go. This is recent. This is recent. Custom buttons.
Do I wear double-breasted suits that look like tablecloths?
You're not Dion, but you're not a rock star, but you kind of are.
That's why I love the one you got me, and
We're
I
doing
love it.
more.
And I've accepted it.
Wait, hold on. I got these. I ordered some buttons. I'm so into being your new button. You know what? Screw you. I'll do all Dan's.
No, I
he'll
didn't
he'll
say-
take them.
Oh wow!
Oh, goodness.
Dan will take them.
He will.
Oh, I got some buttons. Next break, hold on. Not only do I have them, I got them right here, ready to go.
Boom! Look at that.
Hold on.
I'm looking.
No, I'm not showing you. I'm not showing the camera. Come on.
I could just imagine you at night on Amazon looking up buttons for me, and I thank you
Merch
for that. I
Craig
love
did
you,
ask me
Bubba.
one time, what are you buying buttons for? All of your suits already got buttons on them. I go, because I'm doing it for Jay. She's
Thank
like,
you,
oh,
Bubba.
okay. I go, Jay's got these $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 Hugo Boss suits that he just got standard, JCPenney buttons on. We gotta get him a little bit more. Now, can I ask a question and you be honest?
Sure.
Did Candle scoff at your buttons?
She asked about them.
I knew it. I knew
sure.
where it came.
She asked about it.
Now be honest. By the way, I love Candle. I've known Candle longer than you have. So if she could, I can take her button criticism in stride. What did she say?
Well, what do you think she said?
They look stupid.
Okay.
Well, am I too far off?
Not far off. Not far off at all. She didn't say they look stupid. She said, I think the word was jazzy.
Okay, there
they
you go.
look jazzy.
Okay, then.
That means gay, Bubba.
Doesn't.
Yeah, that means- yeah.
That's a loot synonym.
Yeah. And you say spicy, zesty, or jazzy. It's all.
That's all good.
It's all under the.
If she would have said stupid or gaudy, that's one thing. But jazzy means,
There's a time and a place.
Jazzy means get out of here.
Hey, Alexa, what does jazzy mean?
Well, my Bing says,
Alexa, good morning.
My Bing,
Good
he's
morning.
gotcha.
Poet Emily Dickinson was born on this day in 1830. And if you'd like to celebrate with some of her work,
Just say, tell me an Emily Dickinson poem.
Alexa, shut up. No. Hey, Alexa, what does jazzy mean?
The word jazzy is commonly used as a descriptor for something that is reminiscent of jazz music. It can also be used to describe someone who is energetic and lively. The meaning of jazzy is closely associated with the genre of jazz music.
Well,
she was.
I have something different.
Go ahead, Lummy.
Mine says bright, colorful, and showy.
That's it.
There you
Jazzy
go.
ties.
There you go, showy.
That's the context in which
Now,
she was
and
using
is
the
there
word.
any application where you need to be in your line of work as a big slinging D, head of a law firm in Tampa, a very well-known law firm? Is there instances where you need to be jazzy?
For sure.
Okay. So, I think in my opinion, you don't like to be real jazzy when you're in front of a jury. You kind of like to be a little less jazzy.
Correct.
But when you're in a deposition, a big sling and D deposition with a very formidable opponent, you like to roll out like I'm the man.
For sure.
You're in a fight.
Or a mediation, or something where I'm going to see the insurance company on the other side, or the lawyers on the other side. There's a little bit of mind games I'll play sometimes, which is like if I in the old days before COVID, I had a case where I had 3 depositions in the same week, and I drove 3 different cars and wore 3 different watches. And at the end of the 3rd deposition, the defense lawyer goes, I'm thinking about changing sides. How did you do it?
Yeah.
He literally changed sides, quit the case, and became a plaintiff's lawyer after being in a case with me.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not representing insurance companies anymore. I'm going to start doing the common public. I've seen 3 Ferraris, 3 different Rolly / Pate, whatever the kind you got, 3 different $2,000, and that's back when you were just rolling regular buttons. You would have really taken the guy to the dark side if you would have seen your jazzed up buttons.
Back then, I would have let you jazz up about 10 suits.
Yeah, now you're getting a little bit whatever.
I'm a little older.
Hold on here.
A little more conservative.
So Lummy, this is the dash cam footage of Jack Del Rio, formerly the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, then went on to be, I think, a linebackers coach for San Francisco. And he went all over. He's a longtime NFL assistant journeyman, but when he was with the Jaguars, Seth, didn't he have a couple good years?
He was a good coach. He would wear a suit on the sidelines. He commanded a lot of respect, and then looks like
now
this
he's
happened.
Drunk. Now he's a drunk, and he's an assistant for the Wisconsin Badgers.
He was a senior advisor to the head coach.
Yeah,
Being drunk is ugly. It's a shame. I tell my son that. It's like when you're really drunk, if you see the hottest girl in the world and she's really drunk, it's very unattractive.
Oh, it is. So this is him in the back of the squad car. It's 8 minutes long. I just picked out some of the high spots. I think he has to pee really bad, too.
Oh, God.
I don't know if he's trying to do a Dr. C neck crack going on here. Just remember this, man. If you're ever in the back of a squad car,
don't moan.
That's right.
Just sit there and be a gentleman, because know that it's being taped. Remember, Lummy, when Orlando got his DUI,
Yeah.
we were analyzing his, everything's being taped. So don't talk to yourself. Don't just sit there like you're dead, and behave. And don't be like, oh my God, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Because it's all being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Sapp got in trouble in Phoenix for solicitation of a hooker. Remember, Lummy, how animated he was being? So when they were in the questioning room and they were gone, he was being so animated. He was like, oh my God, what's going on? You remember?
Yep.
And the media.
I can't believe these bitches are mad I didn't pay them.
I know, I shorted him $200. What if I just would have paid him? I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, or the Nick Balea phone calls.
Yeah,
all
oh my
that, so
God.
you don't know you're being recorded.
Dad.
He's so carny. You couldn't
Dad.
understand him.
Oh yeah.
What Nizik? Hey, can you
Nizzo.
Hey,
I have
can
no
you
idea
giz
what
it
you're
that
talking a biz out.
Hey, Dad, you know that Riz-reality show we were talking about? Yeah, brother. Can you have the kids, Ambrose, waiting for me the day I get out of Jizz Ale so they can get the whole documentation? Yeah, I got them, brother. I've already got them on the phone ready to go. And they're going to be right there in the Piz parking lot. Rikiz ordering your first Stiz ep of Frizz. Eat them, okay, brother? No problem, Dad. Appreciate it.
Dad.
I'm glad nobody's going to be able to figure out. No interpreter's going to be able to figure out that kids conversation. Frizz other. I actually was part of Hogan's entourage when Nick got out of jail. We went and picked him up. Like you can't even really like lay your head back and like, okay, you're drunk, you just want to ride it out, because if you lay your head back, Lummy, black and white dash cams are not good filters. Like they don't. You can be the hottest dude in the world. You could be J. Diaco in a suit, not drunk, and if they had you this angle at a dash cam, you'd look guilty. Yeah. You could be stone cold sober in your big boy suit, just sitting there, and you look guilty.
Maybe a good idea to keep your eyes open, too.
Yes.
Does he look like he should be driving?
Hold on, he's
God, no.
Hold on. I mean, not only should he not be driving, he can barely survive riding.
He shouldn't be awake right now.
Right.
He's about to urinate in his pants. He's holding it.
Oh, Bubba, can we get that moment one more time? That one.
Moaning?
That was a good one.
He really let a good one out there.
That was almost an orgasmic moan right here, ready? And the thing about it is you can't even hold your wiener. A lot of times if you got to pee bad, you can actually squeeze your wiener.
What's the point? Just pee on yourself with that. I mean,
that's another charge against you.
Is it?
Probably messing up the squad car.
Drunk.
Oh.
What's going on? Oh, just this pain.
Yeah, I mean, fast forward.
He's trying to like play it off like he's got pain.
Got back pain or something.
Yeah, I just want to fast forward. It's really long. It's 8 minutes. You see here.
I can't do that. The pain.
The pain, huh?
Is it your shoulders, sir? Everything. My pain, my shoulders, but
you should be feeling no pain right now, sir.
I can't do that. They can't hold me back that far like that.
Listen, if you got bad shoulders and you're being arrested, if you're a gentleman, you're like, sir, I have rotator cuff or I have bad shoulders. Could you please put me in 2 sets of handcuffs? Plus, I have T-Rex arms.
Is he that messed up? I mean, like, is he that jacked up from football, Bubba, that like he
might be.
He can't even sit down?
I mean, if they put me in handcuffs without the extensions, one, I don't think my hands will meet because they're too short. So I might automatically get 2 handcuffs just based on my little flips.
T-Rex cuffs,
but
please.
I really do think if you're a gentleman and you go, sir, I played in the league for 10 years. I have really bad shoulders. Could you please put me in 2 sets of handcuffs? I think they will. I think if you're a gentleman about it and you reason with them, I think they do that. I've heard, and a lot of fat people require 2 sets of handcuffs, Lummy, too. So I kind of got both. I got bad shoulders and I'm fat. Meanwhile, Jack's just got bad shoulders.
Yeah. He's like 6'4", 230.
Yeah, realistically, man, if you put your hands behind your back and you're in that squad car, which is a plastic seat, it's not, even for the most in-shape, skinny guys like Jay, is probably not a very comfortable situation.
No. Did you say that guy's 6'4", 230?
Yes.
Yeah. God, he looks tiny in there. That camera is deceiving.
6'4", 230 linebacker, 10 years in the league.
Jeez. He was a beast.
Let me just fast forward because I know he starts going. Here you go. Here you go. Seth's big on the moaning. Here's a little more. Sounds like a humpback whale.
Some weed might cure his pain, keep him out of jail.
Just trying to get some of the more of the.
All right, so we can get you out of the back there now.
Let's do it again. Oh yeah, here comes a big one right here. Hold on.
Back there now.
Oh, fucker.
Oh.
Motherfucker.
This isn't a good. And you know what? More importantly, Jay.
This.
More importantly, like when your employer sees this, there's probably a fine line where if you're a gentleman, you just sit back there and you know.
Employer for a college, this guy better be in rehab already.
I know, but when your employer sees this does not solidify helping your case. Like,
so does he try to think that this is like his behaviors because his back, his shoulders hurt?
They say it's because he's got to pee.
Yeah, I said he's.
That's what I think it is. I mean,
okay.
Help me out. I can't.
I'm helping you.
I can't. This fucking arm won't work.
Okay. Let's just get your feet.
This effing arm won't work.
Come on, TMZ,
okay?
beat before us.
I fucking can't get my fucking feet.
Oh my God.
My arm won't look. My arm won't look.
slurring.
What a.
He's yelling at the cop. It's like he thinks it's a car service.
I know.
He thinks it's an
Get
Uber
me out of
driver. He thinks it's a car service.
It's like he just pulled up to the Hyatt and the valet's letting him out.
I just hope he has to pee and it's not that he's in pain from his shoulders and back, because that seems like the guy can't even function as a human.
No, I think it's because he's got to pee so bad.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Let's just get your feet out on the ground first.
Yeah.
Okay?
But my arm won't look.
Your arm won't look?
Yeah, let's get your foot. Your foot's can't.
My arm won't look. Well, most can't.
It's on the door, so we just need to get your foot out first, and you'll be able to move your hips. Okay?
I can't. My fucking foot. My arm won't look.
Okay.
This cop's very
helpful.
very empathetic. Yeah,
very nice.
Super calm.
He probably knows it's Jack Del Rio.
Yeah,
of course.
I just need you to sit forward here.
Come on,
what happened
just
there?
get
Nothing
out,
happened.
Man. Get out of the car,
please.
I don't think he can.
Yo, what do you mean?
I think he's too tall in conjunction with being handcuffed, in conjunction with having to pee.
How'd they get him in? You get him in, you get him out.
Well, hold on. If I go to the very front part of the tape, remember 744, okay, Lummy?
Yep.
If I go to the very front part of the tape, they have a hard time getting him in. Watch. They have to like kind of jam his feet in because I mean those squad cars probably aren't made for 6'4" former, football players. So watch. Now this is the loading in.
Yeah.
He resigned as Wisconsin's football coach.
Oh, I know.
Well, he was just an advisor, though. Wisconsin's making sure he's just an advisor.
He's 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4", 230. I guess he asked to pee before they arrested him, but they didn't.
But yeah, they're not gonna let you pee, right? I mean, you get to do things when you get arrested.
That also could mess up your blood alcohol content when they do the blow at the station.
Oh, he's letting the alcohol out.
Well, yeah, you could be. Hold on.
This is about as far as it goes. If you're able to shift your hips.
So if you can see right there, his back and shoulders are in the vehicle, and his legs are still outside. He can't get him in.
First, it's a little easier.
Could I get anything back that I just had?
Yeah.
That's his possessions, like a cell phone.
I'll put it all in a bag here. So they'll all be in your property, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, sir.
All right, so it seems like they got him stuffed in there pretty good, Lummy. I need to go to 744 again.
Yep. Man, isn't this beyond embarrassing at 61 years old? I mean, do you have a problem at that point, or do you did you make just bad judgment?
If you're drinking, that you're this blackout drunk, and you find that you can reason that you still should be driving, then you got a problem. Now you can get this drunk at a bar and call an Uber, no big deal. or call a friend to take you, or somebody else is driving that's not drunk. That's okay. You can get this drunk in public as long as you're not. I mean, now, Jay, there is a law of public drunkenness, public disorder, and drunkenness too.
Public intoxication.
But if you're really, really, really drunk and your buddy's helping you and you're just walking down the sidewalk and you don't have an open container or a beer with you, you're just absolutely blitzed and you're minding your own business. Cops aren't going to mess with you.
At Gasbro, they're going to tell you, take your friend home.
Right. Or they're going to tell you, sir, find your way to a cab or something. But, okay, sir, no problem.
Ah! So, are you able to bring your feet onto the ground here? Right? Lean back into the car is not going to ease the pain. I can't stand up here for me.
I mean, you would think this guy's got fibromyalgia pain syndrome, where like he gets out of bed and he's like, oh my God, everything hurts.
And you know what? I think they had 2 sets of cuffs on them.
They did.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they had 2 sets on them.
That was the most reasonable police officer and patient police officer I've seen in quite some time.
Let's check the tote board.
What do you think
on the
it
guy
is?
who killed the CEO? We started today at what, 237 or something?
Yeah, I think
247.
Yeah, 247.
247 followers, and after the news has got a hold of it and whatever, he's now at 3. Yeah, he's kind of tapering off a little bit. When we get back, this will be right down, something Jay can help us up with. Jay-Z, rape accuser's identity should be revealed. Tells the judge fair is fair. Jay, there's come a point where in order to be able to properly defend yourself, you have to know who's accusing you of said crime?
Yes, and especially since it allegedly happened in the early 2000s when she was 13, which means she's probably 30-something now, so she should be able to, withstand the scrutiny of making such serious allegations against one of the richest men in the world.
And if you're going to make those type of allegations against one of the richest men in the world, you better be able to identify yourself, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to that next. Hold on.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
That one did sound like he was releasing himself.
You see, hold on. Look at those.
Dude, you're gonna make me look like Deion Sanders.
And with the fucking.
But dude,
look at those. And then I got these. These are a little too.
Could I maybe put this on like I have a Christmas velvet jacket that I wore to a party last week that this would probably look amazing on.
Yes. No.
Okay, it's like my holiday jacket.
Yeah. Okay, so take these.
Could I do that? Because I think I would put that on those.
Now I got some more of these. And then, oh my God, look at how beautiful those are. But I can't find the smaller ones for those.
You should. I bet you anything Danny would put because he's
Danny,
with the lions on the lion's head.
Yeah, these are Danny's. Okay?
That's good. So definitely, I will absolutely wear these.
Now these could be for a shirt. No shirts. So
is this enough for the sleeves? It's only one sleeve.
No, 2 sleeves.
Yeah, that's it. This is for a whole jacket.
Yeah,
I gotta put this on my velvet.
But aren't those pretty?
Yeah, they're awesome, and they're a little holiday-ish. It's almost red and green. It's perfect. I love it. I'll take it.
But hold on. One of these days, once you get it all done, you got to wear it in.
I'm gonna see if I can get it done before the holiday party.
Oh, that'd be great.
I may wear it.
Hey, Danny's gonna go for these other ones.
Of course he will. It's got a big giant gold lion's head on it.
I know it. If that doesn't say Dan Diaco, what does?
That's summarized. If he was a billionaire, he'd have 2 of those on the front of his driveway.
A big lion head?
Gold lions.
He would, and they'd be real gold.
For sure. Hey, Nick, no buttons on my Yetis, please. Morning, everybody. I know he did Tampa Terry along with Beyonce. I wonder if he got paid to endorse her like Beyonce did. Terry, you may remember in the middle of when these things were allegedly happened, late 90s, early 2000s, MTV had the Rock the Vote campaign.
Yeah.
And it was P. Diddy who was out there promoting registering and voting basically Democrat. What's up, Rainy Oklahoma Realtor? How you doing? That's what my son wants to do. Good morning, Thomas Gilson. Xerxes? No. Nick. That's funny, 10-2-12. You know, FJ Bar 75. I think that's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
I have to see what he was accused
that
of.
thing used to sell out.
Or
Well, no, not,
what
this
his
is,
conversation
this is the
with
second.
cops. Morning,
This isn't
Michael
even
Ramos
the
Sr.
big one. That's Alabama, Michigan.
Oh.
This is on the
Cracker
this is,
Chris,
who's this?
CK.
This is
So Mizuki, what's up?
Yeah, to like, this is the
Almost
old,
divorce lawyer. How's everybody
some
doing?
I thought you were asking for Alabama, Michigan.
No.
Where is
okay.
the Brian Gilson?
Jay, is this your
Oh,
water?
that's cool. Say again?
Is this your water?
No, this one is. I make sure to throw mine away every day and put my coffee cup away so I don't get in trouble. What up, Chris Cracker? Cracker Chris. CK. What up? Haas83. How you doing, buddy? Internet Fred. Ryan Kowalski. The Havoc. Yeah, that would be funny. For sure.
Make the gun guy.
Bama boy, Mernon. What's up, Grouper Lips? How you doing? Creatine Travis, how you doing, buddy? Duck God. Thank you, Terry. I think that's Bubba painting Janie Cake's nails. He's got a smooth touch.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Clem Kush. Today about 10:35. Are you doing pigmentation record today?
Yes.
Okay. What time do those guys get in here? 11:30?
Well, they've been getting here about 12:10, but I start at 12.
And then just have them roll in here?
I mean, I start at 12 because that's when we tell people we're going to be there. So I don't like to keep people waiting.
So you'll just start it up and have them roll in when they want to?
It's how it's been working, yeah.
Right, okay.
I don't think that's the ideal way to start a podcast, but, you know, I got to roll when it's time to go.
By the way, I showed Jay. He did take one set of my buttons.
Oh, nice.
For a potential suit that he wears during the holidays.
Because they're jazzy.
Because they're jazzy. Now, do you think that your wife will find these less? Do you like? What do you think your wife's opinion would be on these?
I'll let you know.
Do you think there's a chance where she says, you're not putting them on your suit"?
I have a holiday jacket that I wear very rarely. I've only worn it a couple times in my life. It's a black, like, velvet coat that you would wear to, like, a Christmas party or something.
Those look like earrings that Aaron Rodgers Shaman would wear, Bubba. I don't know. I don't know how those are going to play.
Oh my God!
I mean, they're
I don't know how
actually
those are going to play.
Can I give my wife the veto power?
No. I mean.
No, these are nice, Jay.
Yeah, you see, Jay just doesn't get it.
Jay, you don't have.
I
the
don't get it.
style.
Fashion?
No, you don't.
No, you get fashion, but I'm just trying to take it to the next level of fashion, if you
The
will.
Deion Sanders level of fashion.
Well, I mean,
Why don't you take yourself to that level of fashion, Bubba?
Well, because I don't wear suits very often, but every suit that I do have has custom buttons.
But have you thought about maybe putting a suit on every day? That could really change, the aesthetics of the
What
show.
am I, Michael Bet David now?
I don't know what's working for him. He's like,
whatever the guy's name is.
You didn't have gold buttons on in trial.
Well, no,
I didn't let you. No way you were going in there with gold buttons.
I didn't. No, I wore what I was told. But when I can wear what I want, I got custom buttons. But when I'm on trial, I listen to my attorneys.
Yep.
You even picked out my tie every day, my shirt every day. I had 4.
I think we were able to get away with you not wearing a tie because it was uncomfortable, but you wore a really nice suit that was buttoned appropriately with a nice shirt underneath it. And I think we were able to avoid the tie because it just made you uncomfortable.
You're right. I wore a tie for the hog trial.
But
and then I
not
did it,
wearing
and
one.
I did. Oh, I wasn't.
No, you were not. No, I'm saying for the one
But
that
for
Jay's speaking
MJ,
of.
the
Yeah.
MJ trial, I did not wear one.
Nope.
But every one of my suit jackets and my belt, my shoes, my watch, my shirt,
The water we drank.
the water we drank, everything was calculated.
And there's an idea. I didn't want to make you two Menendez brothers. We weren't going to put you in, cardigan sweaters that were like peach and purple and pink. And we weren't going to put you in a full suit with a slick tie like you're the guy behind the velvet rope. We had to put you right in the middle, which is just a normal guy.
Kind of a working man guy. If a working man had to wear a suit to trial, this is what he would wear.
Exactly. If someone forced a guy to go buy a suit, go down to Marshall's and go get some suits. This is what you got.
Right. It was a $300 big and tall suit,
and you looked great.
So will the judge, as Jay-Z goes to the judge and says, "Fair is fair. I need to know who's making these very, very, very disturbing accusations against me." Jay-Z's attorney Alex Spiro filed docs Monday asking the judge to make the plaintiff reveal herself. In the docs obtained by TMZ, Spiro says, "Fair is fair. It's not consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules of the governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear Jay-Z's good name." Further, the docs state that Jay-Z built an impeccable reputation and has never been accused or engaged in any sexual misconduct. So, Jay, what is he on the right side of the law here? Now is this federal or is this state? I think this is probably federal.
I think it's federal. And Alex Spiro is a super stud lawyer. You can look him up and find out that he's a super stud lawyer. One of the prime articles that comes out is how Alex Spiro keeps the rich and famous above the law. So he's the guy that people hire when they're in trouble. And he's right. So if I were representing you and someone was accusing you of something that happened 24 years ago or 22 years ago, then I would say, Your Honor, in order for me to properly prepare a defense for my client, Mr. Clem, I must know this person's identity. I must know their date of birth, their social security number, so that I can do a background investigation. I must know everything possible about this, the identity of this person, to confront my accuser.
And it's very unlegal-like or procedural-like for a person to remain anonymous and sue an individual. In fact, at one point or another, you have to disclose your identity.
Unless it's a minor whose identity would enjoy protection in the state of Florida, someone under 18, you could do a Jane Doe. But the allegations are she was 13 when it happened way back in the early 20s. So like I said, she's a 30-something-year-old now. And so there's no reason why the identity of an accuser in a $1 billion defendant case that you need to know who your accuser is. 100%. And I have two different schools of thought on this thing, because this is Me Too stuff that's 22 years old. So part of me wants to always defend you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, how do you prove your innocence? You confront your accuser. So if I'm Diddy's lawyer, I'm saying the exact same thing. Now, on the other hand, if we're all intellectually honest and we know what was going on in the early 2000s in the music industry, there's some smoke. And there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. So I don't know where this is going to end up, but I know that if I were representing Diddy, Jay-Z, I'd be doing this exact same thing. I'd be trying to put the heat on the victim, because I assure you, this victim is not pristine like a white snowflake.
In the documents,
there's no way.
Jay-Z,
if you're 13 years old and you're going to parties and you're talking to
you're
drivers
and you're soliciting limo drivers to get you a ticket to get to the event. One of the limo drivers you stumbled upon is P. Diddy's. He says, "Meet me here later." Just a 13-year-old in that space is not the safest and or most responsible. Where are her parents?
Right, and so I would just
this?
suspect speculation is that someone who's doing that at 13 and allegedly had this encounter has probably had a pretty checkered life. And so who is this person?
And
how can I impeach their credibility? Are they a felon? If so, in Florida, you say, you don't believe a felon. Felons are liars. So it's really important to know who they are.
Hire felons either.
It's really important to know who the person is.
Is it bad for an employer? And I think it is bad for an employer to hire a known felon. Is it not?
Absolutely. There's something in Florida called negligent hiring and retention. So I don't remember tons of cases from law school, but I remember this one because I was called on as a student in torts. And it was a situation where someone had a mattress company and they were going to have the mattress delivered to a woman's home.
Right.
Well, the guy that they hired was a convicted felon for sex crimes. And so when he goes to the house to deliver the mattress, he sees a hot woman. He opens up the door, pushes the mattress in, rapes the woman on the mattress. Well, guess what? The boss is responsible for negligently hiring a felon and then putting them in a situation where they could hurt somebody. So that's the law of negligent hiring and retention.
In the docs, Jay-Z says if the judge won't force the accuser to reveal her identity, then he wants the judge to dismiss the case.
I agree.
I mean, it looks like to me that we will find the identity soon because, what's stopping that? There's no doubt she's not a minor now. She's easily in her 30s now. And if you're going to allege that a billionaire has participated in raping you, then this isn't some John Doe. That billionaire has the right to defend himself, and this might be the key, a little bit of the key to open up this whole P. Diddy thing and give people a better look at what we're facing here, because everything has been shut down. Everything's been locked down. They've locked everything down.
Even if I sue on behalf of a minor as John Doe or Jane Doe, the person defending the case off of the record is entitled to know the name of the person and their birth date and their social security number.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can understand the public not knowing, but I think you got to know who's coming against you to defend yourself.
Yes.
But just that, I feel like that's just...
Now, Jay, can they make, like what Seth just said, can the judge make a ruling where we don't make it public, but we can let the counsel of, the people we can let the attorney know?
Yes. And so I'd really like to know if that's the situation. If the lawyers know and they're just saying you can't tell anybody, that's bad. But that's not as bad as you can't know who she is, what her name is, what her date of birth is, what her social security number is. That's a travesty of justice because you can't defend yourself and there's no equal protection under the law. But what Seth's saying is what should happen. These guys may know her name and identity and they're probably dying to get it out there and we can't talk about it. But I would be shocked if Diddy's lawyers and Diddy did not know who this person was. That would be really unusual.
Moving right along on my last story, and this is Mayor Eric Adams from New York. It seems like now all of his speeches, or every time he addresses the media, he has this information like flyer or billboard behind him.
Yep.
Investing in our children, creating career pathways for 15,000 students, subway crime down 15.8% in November.
But look at the one above it.
Safest subways in 14 years, minus the pandemic years. And I guarantee you that there's probably another set of stats above this rip line that we can't see.
Yeah.
He's upset because the left is threatening to really screw with him for working with the news border czar to get illegals potentially get bad illegals out of New York?
Who are here committing crimes, robberies, shooting at police officers, raping innocent people.
This is a far cry from when he was saying, bring me them all and I'll put them in the Roosevelt Hotel.
Have been a harm to our country. I want to sit down and hear the plan on how we're going to address them. Those are the people I am talking about, and I would love to sit down with the Board of Czar and hear his thoughts on how we're going to address those who are harming our citizens.
Because he's scared of losing?
Well, that's number one. But number two, he's facing a federal indictment because about a year ago, when all this started getting a little bit crazy, he criticized Joe Biden's administration. He asked for more money. He asked for some federal help. And what did he get? He got an indictment. And so if you remember at the Al Smith dinner where Trump was talking about, the Al Smith dinner, the Catholic dinner where they roast each other and Kamala didn't show up, there was some really funny jokes there. So Eric Adams was sitting there, and this was before he won, and Trump said to him, looks like you and I have a lot in common now, because they were both facing federal indictment. I bet you anything, Trump pardons him.
Really?
Yep, because he's supporting now the president's czar, which is Tom Homan. He's supporting the president's...
But didn't he have a lot to do with... Didn't he work in conjunction with Alvin Bragg, this guy, or no?
No,
he didn't.
No, he did not.
All right.
Open to
hearing what their plan is to deport some of these folks, and you think the city, in some circumstances, should cooperate with ICE.
Let me. You know what's interesting?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to the team the other day. I want you to all go back and Google Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Google what they said about those who commit crimes.
I think it's much like how many times I've played it, that Hillary and Barack Obama had more of their immigration policy was more in line with what Trump wants to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. In our city. And what they said in our country. They said those who commit...
Bill Clinton's 1995 State of the Union address stated as pretty much what Hillary and Barack went on to say, and that is, let's get the bad ones out, the good ones that have been here for a while, but yet under the system, let's get them signed up and paying into the system, and let's make you learn English. That was the Democratic foothold for immigration. Mm-hmm. Even addressed by Bill Clinton in the 95 State of the Union address.
But as soon
that
as
now
Trump...
makes you you now are MAGA if you say that.
That's right. Now it makes you a right-wing extremist, nationalist.
Crimes need to get out right away. That was their position. So this is not a new position, because
it's only a new position now because you guys lost.
In the state in the era of cancel culture, no one's afraid to be honest about the truth. Well, cancel me because I'm going to protect the people of this city. And if you come into this country, in this city, and think you're going to harm innocent New Yorkers and innocent migrants and asylum seekers, this is not the mayor you want to be in the city under.
Wow, that's...
You think that earring's working out for him?
I don't know.
It's working well for him.
I think that's his superpower, to be honest.
It's bold as a mare.
Jay, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Bubba.
Clem Cush, 1035. Lummy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear the UFO talk.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian, Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember...
I'll repeat hello.